Hello and welcome to this Roll for Good charity event streamed here on Twitch. It's an absolute pleasure to be bringing you a game. I do have a quick prior notification before we get into the introduction. So I will go through this with help from our wonderful producer Tempest and the whole team at Roll for Good. I would like to read you this first and foremost. Welcome. This is a 15 rating game based on the freely publishing Alien RPG. This game centers on space horror, sci-fi adventure, and action, and has adult themes throughout. The CW command is CW Alien. Okay. We hope that you enjoy, and as always, viewer discretion is advised. Because in space, no one can hear you scream. I'm Adam of the Sniper's Return tabletop role-playing game interview and actual play podcast, and it is my absolute pleasure to be the game mother for these wonderful sacrifices, wonderful crew and players for this amazing charity event in support of Mind Charity. I would like to go ahead and get the players to introduce themselves, their characters, and where they can find both, starting with my new good friend, Declan. Please.
Thanks so much, Adam. I'm absolutely filled with dread. Can't wait. I mean, I'm delighted and I'm so excited to play, but also I'm terrified of aliens. So this was probably the worst game that I could have gotten into. But yes, I'm super excited. My name is Declan, as Adam said, and I'm the DM for Romancing the Dungeon. And I am playing Dr. Oisin Gray, the doctor with the worst bedside manner you're possibly going to meet. But we'll figure that out. I know where the lungs are, I think.
Maybe we'll get the chance to find out. I'm moving on. Josh, please.
Hey, I'm Singularity Josh, and today I'll be playing Frank Ace Knight, who is a pilot, and I'm going to fly things real fast. I'm here to fly things and crash real hard and take risks. Let's go!
And on that note, Kai, please.
Hi, my name's Kai. I don't have a game or anything, but I'm on Twitter sometimes. I'm playing Thibaut Betancourt. He's a former Marine, but he still does shooting stuff sometimes. And on this mission, probably a lot.
All right. And our final crew member, Rob, please.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Rob, the Undead Gamer. I'm on the internet doing stuff and shenanigans and games. And today I'm playing Sid Rook, who is a colonial marshal. And let's try and keep you all in order, shall we?
We shall see. One last shout out to our wonderful producer for this stream, Tempest Morgan. Thank you for sort of steering the ship. You don't have to say anything, just we know that you're there in the background keeping us on track. So thank you one and all for your introductions. We will move into this one shot, and I will start with What's the Story, Mother? The Sail Bionational is both a company in the shadow of and riding the coattails of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Although they have secured their seat at the business table, they are determined to become the market leaders. For this, they must surpass the Weyland-Yutani Corporation in the most lucrative of areas. Good fortune has smiled upon Edna LaSalle, the CEO of LaSalle Bionational, when unencrypted and partially redacted Weyland-Yutani files were intercepted and accessed. They mentioned the abandonment of an outpost on the frontier on a planet known as Tycho 2 TAC 2000, otherwise known as LV-832. Wesley Bryant, played by myself, has been given funds, a ship, and personnel to ascertain the validity of this information. We have traveled out to the frontier in the USCSS Gamabunta, piloted by both our Frank Ace Knight and co-pilot Stevenson, who will remain upon the Gamabunta. We as a group have boarded, and I'll shift screen. We have boarded the dropship Springer and are on our way to the boats, on the way to the planet's surface. As we approach the planet, Ace, you in the pilot seat taking the ship into the atmosphere, there's a crackle over the radio. and you can hear. This is the USCSS Coronas. Mayday, mayday, requesting emergency assistance. And again, this repeats. Mayday, mayday, this is the USCSS Coronas, requesting emergency assistance. Mayday, mayday.
I'll take like the handset, the receiver for the radio. Mayday heard. What is your position?
Put that comms unit down, pilot.
All right. Throw it down.
We're not here to act as a life raft. We're here to get on with the mission. You have been paid handsomely for this opportunity. Let's not detract from it.
Are we all sitting in the same space, or is it like a cockpit and then a separate?
The cockpit feeds directly back into a sort of seated crew area, so you can hear all of this sort of confrontation. You've heard the distress call over the radio. You can feel the vibration as the dropship is moving into the atmosphere and starting to vibrate and resonate as it sort of starts to slow and descend.
So I think Thibaut's gonna kind of speak up from where he's hanging out, probably in like seatbelt and stuff, and be like, "Hey, we don't respond to distress calls, and people don't respond to us. We've got time, don't we? If it's that sensitive, you would have sent more crews."
We do not stop for someone else. Someone else will answer that mayday. If you want to play Life Raft, we can do that on completion. You're being paid to assist me and LaSalle Bionational. Don't mix your priorities. As Ace, you bring the Springer, the dropship, through into the atmosphere, you can see a completely desolate landscape ahead of you. There's the odd rock outcrop, sand mainly, where the environment has swept across the ground. It looks barren for all intents and purposes, although do an observation roll for me, please.
What's thing? Nope, that's not my character sheet. Try again, Josh. Observation. Hopefully that's rolled. I take that is 0 successes.
Correct. So as you are you've had this confrontation, Wesley Bryan has sort of come to stand over you, demanding the comms unit be sort of stowed and ignored to all intents and purposes, and there's a bit of a tension here in the craft. It's been a long trip out. Even with alternating with Stevenson, it's a long time to be piloting. And looking out, you just see desolation, sort of this windswept, almost dune-like expanse with the odd rock outcrop that catches your eye. As you move forward, it's not until probably another hour or two of sort of skimming across the surface that you start to see a more angular outline in the distance, far from where you are. And unfortunately, it is Wesley that sort of taps you on the shoulder. What's over there? Let's go and have a look at that.
All right. Yeah, I'll sort of coast the ship, probably a little bit faster than I need to, honestly, towards the object.
As it starts to come into full view, you see there is indeed sort of angular, a dull metallic look. Would you do a piloting check for me?
All right. Theoretically, I'm good at these.
Theoretically. We like the theories.
8 dice, 1 success. Let's go.
You only need one in this game. So as you're moving across, you start to spot potential areas for landing quite close to the structure, and you're able to sort of spot. And it's now that you're sussing out these landing areas, you can start to see out the windows of the dropship. There seems to be sort of welts or sort of dips almost in certain pockets of this sort of sandy, gravelly terrain. And the sort of, they seem irregular, but there is seem to be an odd number. But you're able to spot a landing and sort of move the craft into a space quite close to this large metallic structure that is very much at odds with the surrounding environment.
Right, gang, buckle your belts. We're going down.
Just like to remind you all as we approach landing to lift up your trays and raise your seats in the upright position, please. Make sure your seatbelts are on. Am I doing it right, Ace?
That's something like that, yes, Sid.
Great. The comedy.
He's going to
duo.
double check everything. He's I'm in my full pressure suit. Like, if I could have the helmet on, I would have the helmet on. I'm double checking the seatbelt. I'm triple checking the seatbelt. I take out my medal to St. Anthony. I'm saying a very, very quiet prayer to myself.
Kai, Tibor, are you doing anything in this moment?
No, I think just checking all of my checking my restraints and everything, making sure my guns are easily accessible, and I've done a lot of rocky landings, I'm sure.
Well, luckily, Ace has earned that title for once, not just bravado, as he manages to sort of stabilize and bring the drop ship down close to the planet's surface. You can hear the thrusters kicking out dust, sand, left and right, blowing it away from the structure. And there's a slight scrape and a hop as the whole ship kind of sinks slightly into both the hydraulic presses that support the landing gear and into the surface of the ground itself.
I don't think it was meant to do that.
As long as it's good enough to get us off this rock again, I don't really care.
Have a look in a moment.
All right. As Wesley finishes berating Ace for probably the umpteenth time this trip, you all hopefully can see something on the map I've just put you onto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very small.
Very small. You feel free to zoom in. I was trying to make it to scale, so apologies if people at home are squinting and struggling to see that.
Nice.
But we'll work with it. So you're able to put the dropship down and close to where you are, as sort of Wesley turns to all of you now and says, "Well, what are you waiting for? We're not getting paid by the hour. I want this done, and I want to get off this godforsaken rock."
I turn to the marshal. I'm sorry, I forgot the name.
Sid.
And I sort of, Sid, sorry. And I say under my breath, I'm like, "He's staying on the ship, right?"
I don't know. Hey, Geezer, you staying on the ship or you come with us?
I'm not leaving you ragtag of rebels. If there's anything to find here, it's because of me and my decisiveness for
Yes.
the
All right then, big bollocks. Come on in. You first. Let's go.
All right.
And
Hey,
Sid gets up and gets himself ready.
Hey, drop the ramp for God's sake.
All right.
Yeah,
I
Ace,
was just
for God's sake.
I was just getting round to it. Hang on. And then I'll flick some switches. And as I like flick the switches and stuff and unbuckle my belt, and as I'm about to get off the ship, I'll like dink the head of the little bobblehead that's on the dashboard. It's like a little knight bobblehead. I'll dink that, double check my pistols like strapped to my side, and then get off to go and have a look.
All right. The doctor, are you joining us on?
Yeah, the doctor is going to have made note of the fact that everybody else seems to be strapped with weaponry, and the doctor has a briefcase and a suit and is just very concerned that, we're in space and he hasn't got a gun. But yeah, just kind of Ushing is just going to stand there trembling, like holding like his medical case kind of to his chest, waiting for other people to go first. He's gonna go in the middle. I'm not silly enough to go at the end, at first or at the end. I'll go right in the middle.
All right. So who is leading their way off the tail end? So our ex-marine, followed by.
I think so.
And then who is following T-Bolt off of the dropship?
Oh well.
Okay, so as the two of you get out and touch sort of boots to ground, as it were, your feet kind of sink a little as the sand sort of shifts under your boots. And there, sort of stood quite prominently next to you, is this large sort of rectangular fronted structure. Has grating. It seems to sink back several hundred feet, maybe, or several hundred meters, maybe. It's a large, overbearing structure, very much at odds with everything around it. And from your angle, you can see the front of like a large roller shutter door with an access ramp that runs up. And from this angle, appears to be the only sort of access. So you can actually see, sort of where I'm on about. What's happened there? Why am I making it dark? Anyway, as Ace, you are tapping the bobblehead and getting yourself set and checking your weapons. Doctor, as you stand up, Wesley Bryant comes back to you, grabs you by the arm as though to encourage you up, pulls you close. A word, Doctor, if I may.
Of course. And I just kind of nod. What is it, Mr. Bryant?
I don't trust these others, but you and your medical training, you're going to make sure I get off this rock alive. Do you understand?
Well,
At all costs, Doctor. Do you understand?
Yes, Mr. Bryant. Of course. Whatever. I mean, you're the boss.
Excellent. Get off the boat. Get off the ship.
I'll just rather quickly flit out down the ramp, kind of maybe almost banging into Sid, as I look over my shoulder and wince at Bryant.
Steady, dog. You're right.
It's just my first time. I mean, like, not like my first time, but
Hey, mate, don't worry about it. Look, deep breath. Get the job done. We're all good. You'll be all right. And Sid sort of like roughly pats him on the shoulder, and just gets going.
So where are you 3, 4? Because Wesley will follow you slowly, and I imagine Ace won't be too far behind.
Ice will be, yeah. Ice is like first one on the ship, last one off the ship. So if Brian stands there like, no, I insist, off you go.
Fine. Make sure this thing's in flying order before we leave.
Roll my eyes, but because I wear big reflective aviators, probably doesn't see me do it. And once he's like a safe distance away, dick.
Tibble and Sid, you two are sort of pressed out ahead with the Doctor in front. Again, what you can see in front of you is this large metallic sort of structure, massive prominent roller shutter door, and a seemingly access ramp going up to it. Looking at it, there seems to be some sort of access panel to the right-hand side as you sort of view even from this angle, just close to the dropship. What would you like to do?
So the access panel. Well, I'll see if it's in working order. Start with press a few buttons.
Roll me
see if I can open it up.
Roll contact for me.
Do you want an assist?
Oh, has that not done it?
Or is your contact okay?
There we go.
Oh,
good.
Right. Smooth. So as you are, it came through twice. So.
Oh, okay. Take the first one. That's fine.
Okay, first one.
Yep.
So as you're sort of punching buttons, there's definitely power to it. A little bit of maybe arcing and sparking behind, and randomly jabbing the buttons causes the sort of the door and the mechanisms within the door structure to start to vibrate, and you can hear it starting to give and almost sort of work, but sort of failing to get the door to operate. You are going to have to take a point of stress, I'm afraid. And the door starts to shift, and you can hear the mechanisms that sort of wind this large, wide roller shutter door up creak and creep into action. Dust starts to drop down as the sort of the panels move up and into the doorwell and over onto a unseen drum. And as it starts to lift and the sort of the shifting of the light, the door only managed to lift about a meter off the ground, causing pretty much everybody stood outside of it to have to sort of bend round and crane to see underneath and gain access.
Which I do. Flashlight.
Yeah, Sid also gets his flashlight out and starts shining in, sort of hand on pistol, and ready to waiting for everyone to be around the door there. So before we make a plan, sort of go in.
As you do an observation roll for me. If someone wants to help, that would give you a +1. Don't forget you have the opportunity to push rolls in this game. So try again with added stress levels.
I'm happy to help.
Yeah, so Sid, you have the option if you want to push the roll with the assistance of Tibble. If not, then we can go again.
We'll do.
So that'll be a modifier of 1.
I think at this stage, Oshin is looking as well, but I'm not looking. I like he's like, oh yeah, the door opened, the meter, yeah. There's probably something in there. Yeah, we're good.
All right, sensing the doctor's, should we say, trepidation, Sid, you're unnerved, and I would like you to make a panic roll, please.
Brilliant. Already. Ooh.
All right. So that plus your panic level means that you're calm, but your nerves are a little on edge. And as you scan underneath, the inside is dimly lit. There is light, there is power in this structure. Not immediately evident until you got to the control panel to open the door, but the dim light just seems to show the odd reflection off of something large and metallic casting a shadow in the center. And other than that, maybe a possible small glow from a room at the far end. It's hard to gauge exactly the purpose and the form of the structures without entering the building itself, though.
I think that's possibly a good place for me to interject. Can I just give the ship a quick once over before I catch everybody up? Because you said about the hydraulics been a bit wiggy.
Wiggy being the technical term, I can go with that. Do a heavy machinery roll.
Right, hang on. So, question.
Yes.
I have a maintenance jack. Can I use that to modify my roll?
Yes, you can.
Wonderful.
So what ace you are resolving that? Wesley will turn to the group, seeing this door open only a meter.
Oh, it's not rolled. That's frustrating.
Interesting.
Try that again, shall we?
You can always add the modifier separately. Wesley will turn to the group. Oh,
There we go. Oh,
Let's
it
roll
rolled
it
twice.
oh, you succeeded, and then you doubly succeeded. So it's safe to say that looking over the dropship, Ace, minimal damage. Bit of scuffing, maybe some sand needs to be blown out of one of the hydraulic ramps and pumps that operate the landing gear, but ship looks serviceable. Hopefully
Not gonna. So, like, if we need to get out of here hastily, it's not going to impede us too badly. Is this something I need to deal with now?
It does not seem to be. It does not look like it will impede any kind of evacuation from the planet's surface at
Wonderful.
this time.
In which case, then I will head back and catch up with the rest of the gang before they head in.
All right. So while Ace is checking out the state of the ship at this time, as Ace has been checking out the ship, Wesley Bryant has sort of turned to you almost in disbelief that we're still stood outside. You flashing torches. Well, let's move inside. Come on. I don't want to stand out here on this planet's surface all day. We're not
Off
here
you
for a
then,
beach
mate.
resort. Fine. And as he says fine and starts to duck, he gives a pointed look towards Dr. Gray and then ducks in under the door. I have to do everything.
Can I?
Go on.
Well, I was gonna say, can I like put a hand on his shoulder and stop him first and say, anything final we should know before we go in here? Anything you've been keeping back?
That's a good question.
What do you think of that?
Manipulation. Go on.
Manipulation. Oh, that's
Manipulation.
not my forte. So this will be fun.
Ace, what was your
Here
question?
it goes.
Oh, it's fine. I was just gonna make a joke.
Feel free.
As like he starts going and as Tybalt like says that to Thingy, I'll kind of like go to like where Sid is, like quite close to him, because I'm not entirely certain his big bollocks can fit through that door.
Luckily, Tybalt and Wesley have been in conversation, and he doesn't hear that particular witty remark, should we say. However, Wesley...
I'll be honest. He's probably used to it because it's just like running his mouth is a speciality.
So as Wesley is then about to duck under again, he turns back to Tybalt and says, "I told you all you need to know. Let's get under this door and find what we came for. Stop wasting time." And he ducks under the door, and all you now see is his legs as he starts to walk away and into this large structure that you have allowed access to.
Thibaut does a really big eye roll to the rest of the crowd and ducks in very smoothly.
Yeah, Sid follows.
It's no problem to you, by the way. I'm just going to mark my token so I know which one is mine.
Yeah, I did try and make them slightly distinguishable.
No, it's fine. It's just
to...
I'm just going to put that dot. If you need them for status effects or whatever later on, just like let me know. But
okay,
I just want to put that there just so I know like where I am.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So who's following it in?
Sid will, after presumably Tybalt.
As the pair of you come in, you see in the middle of this sort of large hangar a spaceship similar in size and sort of outfit as the dropship you've arrived on. There seems to be a workbench or a work sort of trolley close by. The ramp into the ship is down. Seems to be a small amount of scaffolding surrounding it. In and around the rest, there seems to be a sort of raised gangway that goes around the top section. And at the far end, so opposite from where you guys have come in, dimly lit, ever so dimly lit, there seems to be a sort of maybe a control room or some sort of raised structure up on a higher sort of on that first/second level. Oh, we're pinging stuff. That you can sort of see, and then in the bottom corner, sort of tucked in shadows underneath this sort of first deck level that goes around above where you are, you can see just the small sort of blinking lights of what could be some sort of access way.
Right, I'm gonna head up to the control room and see what's going on there. If anyone wants to join me, feel free. I don't know if anyone wants to have a look in the ship or around any other access ports around here, but let's not go too far, eh?
I'll give it a once over and kind of head towards the ship and see what I can work out about it.
All right.
model
So-
if it's flight worthy, etc., etc., etc.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a moment. For you, Sid, the position I'm hopefully marking now, though I think my
Yep.
line is. You have to ascend up a staircase and come around on the raised platform. And as you enter, there is almost like on standby a series of computer panels. There is a series of monitors and screens that seem to be showing various different bits. Behind you, you can see the windows that look out and down onto the craft below what is effectively a hangar door you have come in through. Now, simply a meter open, allowing light to sort of slip in underneath, and some sand that has sort of lightly been tracked in as well with the breeze and the change of pressure. So that is what you are confronted with up there in that control room, control booth.
Cool. Okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can get anything working, sort of lights, power, that sort of thing, going. I'd also like to, if I can, use my Seegson system diagnostic device to help, if that's possible.
Absolutely. So you do a contact roll with that, and while you were rolling that, Ace, you mentioned going to have a look at the ship.
Correct.
While Wesley sort of moves into the middle and stands around looking impatient with the other two. Do me an observation roll for the ship. Yep. Oh,
2
nice.
successes.
Nice. So we'll come back to that in a second. Sid, even with your diagnostics tools, it seems to, maybe you've forgotten to update it. There's a patch missing. You're sort of pushing things, trying to bring up diagnostics. You're able to flash up like a mini map of the structure and get a few screens to blink online, but you aren't able to sort of restore full power or full ventilation or bring up any other sort of diagnostic information that potentially you were hoping to find here in the control room. You brought some sense of life to it, and a few controls become active, seemingly to operate doors or airlocks to one side becomes available to you. But other than that, you're not really getting much.
Am I able to, seeing as I can't really do much with the tech that's in here, just sort of have a look about the command room and just use my sort of investigator talent to observe anything, see if there's sort of like anything out of place or out of the ordinary in here?
Yeah, absolutely. Does that need a roll?
Yeah, I've got to roll my observation.
Okay, you do that, and we will rejoin Frank on the ship. Frank, as you have a look around, the ship itself is under repair. It is in some sort of maintenance cycle, hence the sort of scaffold and the bench. Most of it seems serviceable, and you reckon if you needed to, you could effectively cannibalize or salvage bits off of this bit for Springer outside. You do also find a pump-action shotgun stowed in a weapons locker as well.
Take that for sure.
What are Doctor and T-Bolt? What are you guys doing while the rest of the party have sort of split?
Important clarification, sorry, before you move on. Ammunition, what's the dealio with that? Because I'd hate to try and shoot it and find I've got nothing to shoot.
You use it until you've lost it.
Do I have any ammunition when I find the shotgun then?
Yes, but you only get so you find enough to do a single reload. So it's fully loaded because TTRPGs, and then you can do a single reload if you empty the magazine under stress, or empty the shells under stress. So, but we'll clarify that as we go. Sid, you're not having much luck up in the observation.
Absolutely not.
So roll a panic roll for me. Okay, so I think you're all right. I've got like 6 different things up. No, that's completely the wrong thing. So, see, Roll20 is great when you remember that what you're looking for is actually already in here. Panic. Stress and panic. Show the players. Yeah, show everyone, why not? So you roll a stress dice, roll a d6, stress level, so that was 7. If you roll 10 or higher, then you're forced to roll more stress. So 1 to 6, you're keeping it together. So you're all right at the moment. You're all right. Oh, but not by much. Get rid of that light on my screen. So yeah, looking around, you find what seems to be loose sort of 9mm shells from a pistol, just sort of loose in a locker. There's no other equipment really that stands out for you to sort of pick up and take. Potentially you fumble a couple of these shells, bullets as you sort of investigate and pick them up. Wesley stood in the middle, is now sort of starting to move towards the twinkling light, looking up towards the command deck, back to you, Tybalt and Dr. Gray. Come on. Get that door open.
I'm like, wait a second, please. 1 second, and pull out my motion tracker. What is, because it has a range of up to 4 zones.
Yeah.
Would that get me something good where we are here?
If there's
Because
something
I'm happy
moving,
to just do it, but
if there's something moving in the zones, then potentially yes.
cool.
It has the range. Whether you find anything moving is quite different.
Yeah, for sure. Does it roll?
You roll once you've used it, if memory serves.
Oh, right, the
So-
battery.
Yes.
Okay.
So I will get a ping marker and I will put on where you have pinged. It's a radar ping. I don't want a radar ping. I want a rather science. That's what I'm looking for. Let's get the one that says A on it. Copy.
I think I am the one with an O.
Yeah, no, I'm bringing in another token that you probably won't be able to see because it will disappear. So your first ping picks up movement a few sections away. I don't know if you can see that or not, or if it's disappeared into the way sort of
I think
way
it's in the
through
blackness.
It's in the blackness, in the darkness, way beyond. You do pick up a little bit of movement. It's on the very edge of the range of the motion tracker, but it is there. There is a single blip of movement beyond.
Okay. All right. So I kind of reholster that thing, and I'm like, all right, something's moving, but we at least know that now. And I go towards the door. I don't want Wesley beating me to that door.
Don't like that. Oh no.
He like pats his gun. He's like, that's why I'm here.
Okay. So
Famous last words.
Yeah. As Wesley starts to move towards the screen, I don't know what's happening with this thing. As Wesley starts to move towards the door, you notice that while it has lights on it, there doesn't seem to be any controls in the vicinity to locally open and control the door.
All right. Then comms back up to Sid playing around in the control room. And he's just like, do you have door controls up there? Because I guess I could blow this thing, but that seems like a bad idea.
Seems a little excessive, doesn't it? Yeah. Potentially, theoretically, yeah. I'm having a bit of issue, but I've managed to bring up a layout of the structure, sort of floor map, if you will. So, but I don't know if anyone down there knows what they're doing. I'm having a bit of issue.
I'm actually proficient in contact, so maybe I can have a go.
Well, stop wasting time in the broken ship and get up there and help him. God.
Sorry, that was out of character.
Tough. I'm turning it into in character. I'm dragging
Right.
you along.
I'm gonna come up and have a look then. I'll see what I can do.
In space, no one can hear you, OC.
Do I have... Yes, I do. I have a thing to modify my Comtech. I also have an SSDD.
I'm sorry. Do you need to go to the doctor for that?
One success.
All right. So, Sid, joined by Ace, you're able to sort of you're able to quickly suss out, door open, door closed. There seems to be two sets close together, but on the map that Sid shows you, you're able to go right. That door is that one. So
does it look like we'll need to head through to the second area? Is it worth opening them both now? Is what I'm asking.
You can try and open them both now.
You absolute pillock! It says right there, door open. What's the matter with you?
I missed it, mate. Sand in the eye.
What are you guys doing up there? Come on, this one's open. We're going on.
Sorry, we were just kissing. What is this bloke's fucking deal?
I don't know. And I'll try the other set and see if that goes as well.
As you open the other set, the door in front of Wesley begins to close. What are you doing? I was about to walk through there.
Knock the other one then. Knock it back so it stops.
Okay. So as one door opens, the other one closes.
What's
so
there in this?
I'll get the first to open.
Oh. Well,
Multiple.
what's there in the way of like junk in the vehicle bay? Like, I'm basically hoping I can do a sort of trash compactor. What if we just put a bar and jam the doors for a minute?
There is, so looking around, there was the bits of scaffolding that you saw was surrounding the ship. Potentially could take a bit of time to disassemble some of that. There was the tool tray, sort of wheelie bench. You could try and stop a heavy metallic door from crushing instantly. You can find other bits and pieces. You can try and hold the door open yourselves if that's something that you really want to try. So there are things about if you want to be using some ingenuity, but there is no sort of dedicated door jack for you just to take out of a holster and stick in this door.
I guess I'll start looking at those things, but if anyone's got something better, please.
I literally have a maintenance jack on my character sheet. If that would work.
It may do. You will have to try.
And sorry, just for clarity then. So we've got one door open. If we try to open the second one, the first door closes.
Yeah.
And
effectively forming an airlock.
It's right, so it's an airlock kind of thing. So we need both of them open to proceed. Wonderful.
You need one open, then the other open to proceed. So you'll open the first, step through, close the first. The second will open to allow exit or egress out the far end.
Are there controls inside the corridor?
You haven't been in the corridor to find out.
I will check it out.
As you move inside, you did say you'd open the closest set, didn't you?
Yeah. Once it started closing again, I flipped it back again.
Okay. As you open reopen and make sure that the first set that you come to are open, and Tybalt, as you step through, so we're going underneath, aren't we? So effectively behind the control room, but it's underneath layers stuff. So opposite that. So as you go to step through and have a look at Tybalt, Wesley will turn to the doctor. Doctor, they found the way through. Follow me.
Whatever you say, Mr. Bryant, but should we be expecting casualties?
I'm unsure as to what we will find at the far end, but we will endeavor to have a look. If it warrants our attention, then you can have at it, Doctor. How's that?
Whatever you see fit, Mr. Bryant. Of course.
Yes, that's what I thought. Right, come along, Doctor. Are you two joining us? Actually, no. One of you has to stay behind. for the door, I think. So Tybalt, as you move into the access tunnel, you see that there is no local access panel. The only way in or out is via this main panel, definitely at this end anyway. You don't know what's at the far end, but stepping in this passageway, this long corridor that's sort of sealed at both ends, you can barely see the other end, mainly not just to the distance, but the amount of light that seems to be, it's like all the light from every other section of this facility has been channeled into for sort of illuminate this passageway beyond all reasonable need. It is almost blinding, the amount of light that sort of centers in around the reflective surfaces as this long, almost sterile corridor extends far beyond and terminates with another set of these heavy doors.
Ace's aviators are something that we all wish we had, I think.
Yeah, very much so. Well, go on.
I was just going to say, well, I check out the other end. Can't hurt to have that information.
Yeah, so as you move through and along, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Move through and along the section, this long corridor, Tybalt. Compared to the atmosphere back in the loading bay, this is very much it's controlled. It's not cold, but it is not. It's very much sterile in its sort of appearance. If I can move that over. And moving through, you're not on the sort of metallic part, almost carpeted floor. Takes your weight, and as you move down these smooth sides to this heavy airlock door, again you see no kind of interface to open the door from this particular location.
Then I guess I radio back, or like the armor I'm wearing says it comes with a comm thing. So
yeah, I've got a radio on my equipment as well. So
okay. So, yeah, Thibault's just gonna like radio it back and say, I think we're just gonna have to open the second one, so I can see what's on the other side. There's no control panel down here.
okay, right, roger that. Opening second door now, over, and then I'll flip the other switch.
All right. As you flip the other set of doors, as you found out, the first set begins to close behind, and there is a change of pressure, as though air is being sort of drawn, circulated, and filtered before the set ahead of what is us now. Tybalt, Dr. Gray, and Wesley begins to sort of click and crack, and the pressure change starts to open, revealing, with the exception of the light that spills out from the corridor, a rather darkened hallway that bends both to the left and straight ahead, terminating at one heavily armored door. You notice to your right hand side, Tybalt, as you step out, there are 3 doors that seem to lead into separate, could be offices, dwellings, or the rooms anyway.
Okay. Is that something, I guess there's no like signs?
Do an observation for me.
Sure. Would love to. Is it gonna, oh, there it is.
There are markings. There seems to be sort of one sort of points to an office. One seems to lead to a separate airlock, and then the 3 rooms just annotate like cabins. That's the word I'm going for. So cabin 1, cabin 2, and cabin 3. There don't appear to be names. There's very little else that seems to be sort of indicated by signage as you sort of have a look around.
Okay. I think we should probably get a few other people in here with me, but I'm also happy to do some looking around while we wait for them to like make their way in.
Okay. So roll me an observation. Wesley will radio, having sort of almost dragged the doctor along, almost will sort of encourage the doctor to move out of the airlock and into this new main part of the facility. And he radios back to the two of you in the command room. Well, which one of you is coming? Or are you both coming? Stop wasting my time.
Oh, he's getting a bit touchy, isn't he? What do you want to do, mate? Should we both go, or?
Right, so just to sorry, because my dog's decided that now is the perfect time to bark, because why not?
My
So
cat doesn't do
have you
that.
found, has there been like another control panel found so we could both get through, potentially? What he was getting at.
So what Tybalt has noticed, thank you for reminding me, is that at this end there is a control panel on the airlock.
Awesome.
In which case, provided that Tybalt tells me that,
For sure.
I
I found it. I got it. Come on through quickly.
Oh,
all right. Right, let's go before he pisses his pants about it.
yeah.
And so we'll also head out.
Head down there, get in position. Tybalt, open her up, mate.
Yep. Or that's not a good button press sound.
That'll
That's
do.
the airlock.
That'll do. That's airlock enough. So the door behind Wesley, the good Dr. Gray, and Tybalt closes, and you can hear that again, that shift of air in front of you. Sid and Ace, the door sort of disengages, slips, and slides open, allowing you access again into this heavily illuminated, metallic / reflective, sterile passageway that leads through to the second section of this facility.
Wonderful. So we can get through this tunnel tunnel from sub-level. Can we get through that now?
Yeah,
This-
so you can.
This
Yep,
section here?
yep, that's
Cool.
what you've opened up. So that's where
Brilliant.
you're moving through. It's weird because I can move everybody and it's throwing me off. So moving through, you guys now see the same scene, a slightly dimly lit, although with your torches sort of sharing out a bit more light, you're able to sort of see these offices, access to other chambers, and ahead of you, sort of in this heavily armored door type construction, is what seems to be the barrier to whatever it is you came here to find. And Wesley turns to, which is there. Wesley turns to each of you as he sees you, quite aggressively. Not that he hasn't been aggressive up to this point at all. You know, perfectly pliable gentleman. And he says, "Well, that's it, Doctor. I think we are close to what we've come for."
I'm going to move kind of up to the door. Is it, you know, you described the panels before that were lit and stuff. Is there an obvious access way?
So the door looks like the airlock doors, but seems to be of a thick. You can tell just by looking at the surface of the door, it is thicker. There is a light that, like a red light, that seems to illuminate from just above the doorway down into this sort of immediate entranceway of the door. So as you sort of move into it, you're now hued in this red light as you come to investigate the door. It does not respond as though it potentially would to a motion tracker. However, there is an access or control panel just to the side that seems to have power applied to it.
I'm just gonna kind of lean into Mr. Bryant. I kind of as much of a whisper as I could possibly make it be. It's like, Mr. Bryant, what exactly have we come here for?
Wayland Yutani are ahead of us on certain projects. We are leveling the playing field. Don't be so naive, Doctor. I wouldn't have brought you all this way if I hadn't thought your expertise would come in some use.
Understood, Mr. Bryant. And I'm gonna move up to the control panel and, with the sweatiest palms in the entire universe, try and get us access to this next space.
Do a Comtech for me, please.
I'm one of these doctors that doesn't like technology. So
Everything on a typewriter in his little GP surgery.
100%. So that would be no.
That would be no. Doctor, as you start to sort of try and punch in some sort of access request, even if it's a big green button, you seem to be missing it, or maybe you're shorting it with your sweaty palms. Unsure at this point in time. You can see Wesley's. You can feel it. Everyone else can see Wesley's face becoming more frustrated with you. And I'd like you all to take a point of stress. Congratulations. As you do this, the airlock door behind Ace and Sid draws closed, and you can hear that air pressure change again behind you within the corridor. So you are now effectively sealed into this small subsection of the facility.
Oh, you love to hear that. You really do. That's a great sentence.
Wesley turns to the doctor. Clearly not your forte, Doctor. Move out of the way. Ace, you seem to have a knack for this. Get that door open.
All right. Hang on a second. And I'll whip out my Seegson system diagnostic device, and I'll have a crack and see if I can get it open.
Don't forget your point of stress.
I think it automatically rolls it.
Yeah, it has done. It has. So one success. Good man. So,
Does the point of I know, like, I'm guessing that point is that yellow dice is a point of stress, correct?
that is
Does
a
that-
stress dice.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So if I've rolled a success on the stress dice, does that entail anything else to go with it?
Any success is a success, but only stress dice can give you panic.
Cool. Right. Cool.
So, as you carefully maneuver the doctor to one side, who seems physically shaken at this point, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, and I am damp to the touch. Their sweat is just, I'm not comfortable.
I'll sort of gently touch, put my hand on the doctor's shoulder and just be, it's all right, let me have a go. Come on, lad, out the way. And then I'll sort of gently shove him out the way and kind of start tinkering.
As your tinkering succeeds and you hear familiar sort of bleeps in behind the panel as connections are made, and the door it kind of slides on a horizontal and slides sideways. It doesn't open sort of top to bottom like a few of the other doors you've encountered, but there is an extra sound there, like a locking mechanism that spins first. So it sort of unlocks and then separates on a diagonal. And as it does, there is almost a wave of damp air that races out of the chamber and sort of washes over those in the vicinity. Even before your eyes have adjusted to this new sort of low light setting within, and even from the door, there is a foreboding, sort of weird, humid sense that overwhelms the group.
Oh, I don't like that. Go on, somebody who's big and strong going. I ain't going in there.
You two, and he points, and Wesley points to Sid and Tybalt. You two, get in there and check it out.
Go on then.
Yeah.
Sid, places his hand on his pistol that's still in its holster, and strides up towards the door and enters the room.
as you enter, you are greeted with an unusual sight, I think is the fairest way of putting it. And this seems to be the location, Tybalt, that your ping would have come from. Golly legs, it's just in a way.
Oh,
the sort
okay.
of the range of your motion tracker. You
Okay.
reckon it's about this sort of distance. But what you see in front of you and around you is mist. It is damp. It is humid. Out in front of you, there seem to be small, almost ovoid shapes, seemingly in sort of batches or rows or trays that seem to sort of surround a central structure, which has a sort of circular base, narrows up, and then spreads out to a sort of disc or cylindrical sort of platform at the top, down from which there seems to be heavy spotlight shining down into the immediate vicinity in and around the base of the structure. And coming out the top and whipping around in circles seems to be this arm spraying some form of moisture into the air, and it's rotating on a sort of fairly high frequency as it moves struggling with words, as it moves around, as it sprays this mist down that seems to be coming down, and your clothes, as soon as you step in, there is sort of that humid sensation, that moisture creeping into every layer of your outfit. But with this, I'd like you both to take a point of stress.
Okay. And to Sid, I'm like, well, that might be the motion on the tracker, but it could be these. Look, there might be something else guarding these. These are awful. I don't like looking at them.
All right. As you have do an observation roll for me, having said that.
Okay. Let me add my other stress. The stress really ramping up there.
Can I assist with that at all? Or?
Yes, you may.
All right. So modifier of 1.
Modifier 1.
There it is. Roll 20 processing.
All right. So one stress, unfortunately, counteracted by
So many dice.
a panic. So roll panic for me, please.
Okay. I have played this game before. I enjoy it very much, but hearing roll panic is still bad to hear.
Okay, so you roll 6. So you
6
are
was still keeping it together, right?
just about. So as you're slightly taken aback, you miss a few other visual markers as you're sort of rocked on your feet a little bit because of these ovoid forms in these trays. It's almost like they have been specifically placed and nurtured here in rows and columns as they surround this central structure. They seem to be almost a slimy skin-like sort of material construction, quite unlike potentially things that either of you have seen, maybe rumors you've heard, but nothing you have seen for yourselves, hence the level in stress. Wesley turns to the doctor, this time physically grabbing you by your sort of crook of your forearm, into the elbow area, sort of grabs you and pulls you in behind Sid and Tybalt and says, "Oh, we're here, Doctor. Isn't it beautiful?"
Can I just stare up at Mr. Bryant in like, you have, without saying it, because I'm afraid he'll punch me, very questionable taste in beauty. That's just, at this point, on seeing kind of the layout and the setup and what's the operation here, this is, there's a lot of bile currently stuck in Dr. Gray's throat, and physiologically he's trying to decide whether that gets swallowed or that gets spilled out onto Mr. Bryant, and he just swallows. What do we do? Do you need? Is this what we've come here for?
This is it, Doctor. This is why I needed you here. We need a specimen. And as he says that, Ace, you seem to be loitering somewhere near the door. I don't know if you're entering or not.
I'm muted like a dick. Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly in no rush to get in there, but also, like, I will, I'm not just going to stand out here on my own sort of thing. If people are moving in, I will kind of follow.
Okay. So as each of us, as all of the party move in, you do see in front of you, Sid and Tybalt, you would have seen it first, but sort of checking the room was probably more important at that time. There is a slim column control unit that stands probably 5 or 6 meters away from the door you've come into. It is the last sort of hard standing metallic area in this entire sort of area of the facility. Everything else seems to be sort of maybe packed earth or something that has been dragged into these sort of rows and columns, allowing these ovoid shapes to be cultivated. And as Ace, you step in, you hear the door begin to close behind you.
Oh dear. I'll let it. Why
Okay.
not?
As the door finishes its closing sequence and spins the lock, you again sense a slight change in pressure as the humidity sort of ramps up. Now there's no escape for the air and the moisture. It is now sort of starting to bombard you from all angles. These ovoids are lit primarily from the spotlights, plus your own torches that allow you to see in and around the area. To the far sides, knocking my microphone, to the far sides of the structure, both on the left and right, there are large ventilation grills open, and you can see a slow turning fan in each of them, just pushing the air round as it sort of circulates the moisture through this area of the facility. And while you're gazing around, something silhouettes across the windows up in this command tower, just for a moment, which seems to sit in the correct area for where Tybalt, your motion tracker, picked up some sort of movement.
I think as soon as that door closed, I imagine it was very audible, very loud, locks whirring and clicking.
Very much so.
I think it was like gun out immediately. And at the silhouette, you said the lights are primarily from those spotlights and our flashlights. So if I were to sneak towards there and try to get up in there, I would have decent odds.
You have as good of odds as your character sheet allows you to have, but you can certainly try.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to be working on.
All right. Let's try mobility. Do a mobility roll for me.
Oh no.
Unless you have unless you have a counteract for that.
No, I can't really call it close combat yet, and survival is not.
Is what you might need later, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So I think as he pulls out his gun, he says, like in a low voice to everyone nearby, but specifically Sid, "I just saw movement in there. I'm going up there. Back me up if you can." And here comes the roll.
Just while Tybalt is making that move and kind of feeling kind of Brian's presence, very, very, very domineering presence, Oshin is going to move in closer to the ovoids and, if possible, do a medical check.
Absolutely. Please do. However, we will come back to you as you roll that check in a moment. Tybalt, as you begin to move, you don't quite judge the light, the shadow, and one of these sort of almost what they call sort of box frames containing this ovoid's cultivated space. It just catches you unaware as you sort of kick it hard as you move round, picking yourself up. You don't fire your weapon off or anything like that, but the sound is enough to sort of draw attention. So as you draw the group's attention, with the exception of the good doctor, sort of Wesley Bryant definitely looks over in your direction with frustration. Ace and Sid, the silhouette reappears, but actually sort of is prominent against the watchtower windows. And you can see that there seems to be intent on area in and around where Tybalt was seen to be moving. That silhouette then steps back and seems to disappear into the light of that main watchtower.
All right, because nobody's asked the question. What shape is the silhouette? Is it humanoid?
It appears from this angle humanoid.
Jolly good.
We've fucked the element of surprise there, Tybalt, mate. Sid's going to call up to the silhouette that has obviously sort of disappeared, but up to that like command center unit or observation deck. Hello, I'm Marshal Rook. We are here to offer assistance. Didn't think anyone was here. And just sort of like wait for a response, if any.
Give me an observation roll. Doctor, you rolled medical and succeeded.
Mhm.
What was the intention of your medical check? What were you checking for?
I
Do you know where the
really
lungs are? I know this much.
yes. Are there lungs? No. It was more just to see. I mean, are these all intact? Like, are they? Do any of them look like they've been opened or tampered with, or are they still fully ovoid? Or I'm basically just trying to get an estimation as to what this actually might be, or have I seen anything like this before?
So as you move across and start to sort of get close to a few of these sort of cultivated patches and have a good look, the ovoids seem intact, though there seems to be some sort of join or split. You're not sure if it's a tear or some sort of seam that runs up to the top. And again, the trick of whether it's your movement or something that caught your eye, but as you approach and the sort of the moisture clouds your eyes for just a moment, you're unsure as if it sort of, I don't know, oscillated maybe slightly, the first one you approached. And looking across, they all seem to have this sort of same strange indentation just in the top that seems to have these weird seams. They have not a hard shell like a chicken's egg. God knows the last time you had fresh chickens in space, but it is more of a membrane almost that sort of wraps around and is coated in this mist, this dank and damp atmosphere, and sat in what you can only assume to be at this point in time some sort of soil or root network.
I'm just going to look back at Mr. Bryant. Several of these are intact, Mr. Bryant. If it would seem you have your pick of the nest.
So it would seem, Doctor. We'll deal with that in a moment. Sid, what have you seen anything?
Yeah, there is someone here. And Sid points up to the observation deck. We'll go take a look and see if we can introduce ourselves.
With your observation roll and concentrating simply on the observation deck, you actually hear what sounds like metal boots on a metal ladder rung, the series of sort of descent type sounds as it sort of bounces around both the inside of that sort of tower and just about over the top of the oscillating arm, and sort of everything else that's sort of happening around. You hear that sort of dunk, 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 dunk. And moving out, but still very much hidden by the shadow created by the spotlight, is a humanoid form that appears to be moving slowly towards you as a group. Tybalt, you're obviously off to one side, having tripped over your own feet. And Ace, you're further back, closer to the door, but you can still see this sort of humanoid form moving forward, and it's a slow procession. There's no run. There appears to be no anger or intent to challenge you in an aggressive way, but it is very much. And the light that comes down is broken and silhouettes out a sort of approximately 6-foot humanoid form. Seems to be quite slim, quite sleek, and as the light catches, there's sort of bright, almost white hair comes down, and this individual seems to be wearing some sort of like a leather apron or some sort of outfit like that, with what you can guess to be sort of trousers or something underneath, as they begin to move forwards towards you as a group.
I think from the side, Thibaut's like, "Are you the nursemaid? Can you hear?" He was talking to you.
They, as they approach, they look just towards you, Sid, since you made the challenge, but as much towards Wesley, Ace, and to a certain extent, the good doctor, currently close to one of these ovoids. And they say, "I'm Amy. I am the gardener. Why have you come here?"
Gardener? Well, it's like no devil's lettuce, is it? What you cultivating here?
It's a rare species for my employer. And Wesley sort of jumps in before, and he says, "Yes, your employer wants an update. Wants to be able to remove some of these plants you have grown." And there's a long pause where that just kind of hangs in the air, and each of you can sense even Wesley's voice kind of wobbles a little bit as she says, "Are you asking me to continue the program, or are you asking me to exterminate the program?" And Wesley turns to you, Doctor, and he says, "Doctor, what's your recommendation?"
Miss, when you say cultivating a species, if we terminate the program, what happens to the garden?
Well, that is one of the protocols. I am here to ensure the correct action is taken. Are you wanting me to continue the program or terminate the program?
I look around at everybody else, and then
Sorry, carry on.
No, please, somebody else step in here. The doctor is not able to make this decision.
What are you cultivating this species for? Amy, was it?
Yes. I'm Amy, yes. And
Marshall
the garden.
Rook.
A pleasure, Marshall. This species is for my employer. I am simply here to cultivate. I am not to assume its use in the wider corporate needs.
What if we take a look up the observation deck and take a look at your most recent findings and notes and observations?
I'm afraid I cannot permit that until we have established the protocol. Am I to continue the program, or am I to terminate the program?
For now, until we've seen your most recent findings, we will continue the program.
We shall continue the program. Excellent. And as she finishes that sentence, she walks forward, grabs Wesley by the chest, drags him across to an ovoid. It opens, and this 8-legged creature clamps out instantly flooring Wesley. And
Well,
if you're,
soon as that happens,
if you're happy,
Sid
we'll stop for a
draws
wee
his
break there.
Pistol on Amy. Okay.
Yes, fuck that guy.
well, that's one less problem to worry about, but I got a feeling we've got about 9 more now. So.
All
we
the
chose
things
the
that
wrong
I'm doing,
code
the
word.
doctor is doing as well. I can't, no, the doctor's not able for this.
Oh man, I shoot her.
We will get to that. We will get to all of that in a moment.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
Initiative is done by cards, so.
Oh right.
But we will get to that in a moment. All right, welcome back. Before we jump into anything else, I'd like everybody to take a point of stress. Not you at home, understandably, but the guys here in the scenario please take a point of stress for watching the dearly beloved Wesley Bryant be accosted and seized upon by this strange 8-legged crab-like entity.
I'd like to make a counter offer that we lose a point of stress because fuck that guy.
I mean, argument is valid, but argument is denied. Objection overruled, as it were. Good try.
Oh, no, I'm so cut up that he is dead.
Oh! It's a pain to my soul that particular
It
individual.
has saved me the trouble of doing it myself, so I do appreciate that.
Yeah. To be fair, he is still breathing. He's just got one of these things on his face.
I am going to rush over with my medical kit and kind of looking up at Amy and then down at this thing. Is there anything I can I cut this thing off?
Do a medical check for me.
Oh.
Or you could be completely put off by the sight as you approach and roll a stress for me instead. Or panic, I should say.
Yep, I will do that straight away.
In spite of yourself, maybe the oath you've taken as a healer has managed to sort of keep you in check. However, scanning this creature, sort of spiny, almost bony central section, long fingers like spindly legs wrap around either side. You can see poor Wesley's hair is now out of place as this creature sort of binds round, and a tail that is almost serpentine in its sort of texture wraps around his neck and seems to have sort of constricted, not to the point of suffocation, but close. There is a constriction that's happening as these sort of sacs that sit on the sort of the bottom third of this strange spider crab-like creature sort of expand and contract along with the movement of Wesley's own lungs.
Looking at Amy, what is this? What? Get it off him.
I'm afraid cultivation is in progress. There's no stopping nature now. The garden is blooming. And as she says that, you can hear the as things start to go on. Sid
Draws his magnum, points it at Amy, and says, "You're going to fucking tell us exactly what you are cultivating right now and what the fuck is going on within." And he sort of references Wesley.
He has been primed for germination. He is being given a new lease of life to new creatures. Nature works in mysterious ways. Don't you understand, Marsh?
I'm trying to. That's what I'm asking, yeah? So, if you want to take us to look at your research, Doctor, do you think you can get that thing off of him?
No. If I take this off, I think I'll kill him.
Well, he's no good to us either way, then, is he? We might as well leave him here.
Ask her to terminate the program. Ask her to just stop gardening.
No, termination is not a good word. It turns out continue was bad. I think termination will be worse. And if Sid's not shooting, I am. Like, that's what I'm doing right now. I've had my...
Okay, so as you have requested she terminate the program, we will do this in tandem. She says, "So I am to terminate the program." Understood. And she pulls what appears to be some sort of key fob from just in the apron. Pulls like a small key fob. You can barely see a button on it. And she twists away from you, calm as anything. There is almost no emotion on her face as she reaches her arm back towards the tower and clicks the button. Kai, I'd like you to make a ranged attack roll.
Okay. Specifically clicking on my weapon, the attack. Like I have a smart gun. I can just click the attack button on that, right?
I believe so. It should work.
Okay.
As long as it's your numbered weapon.
I did click it. Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Roll panic for me, please.
Okay.
Tybalt. Tybalt, as you draw your or maneuver your smart gun into position and try and fire, you hold your nerve, but it inexplicably sort of fires wide, almost as though the position Amy has taken is somehow too simple for a smart gun. It's very bizarre. So as these shots go flying past, Doctor, somewhere close by, you can hear more of these sort of sacs these ovoid shapes starting to open, that moisture sliding sound as they sort of crack and open, exposing a thinner membrane over the top for those that are close enough to see it. While that's happening close to you, and Tybalt, your shots are firing across the other side of this facility, Sid and Ace, looking towards where Amy has pointed and clicked the key fob, that general direction of the central tower, the lights on the outside have changed from a white to a red. The internal lighting of the central sort of hub where you first saw her silhouette, or their silhouette, begins to sort of pulsate a red color. The rotating arm at the top that was spreading this mist, this dampness, humidity into the air, ceases to function, and you can hear on the far extremes the rotating air ventilation fans starting to wind down, and the ventilation flaps beginning to sort of position themselves in a closed position.
So, do I know enough about things that move to know that this is going to start to suffocate us?
Or worse, yes.
I don't think we've got much. I'm going to start frantically looking for a door panel on this side to see if I can get us out.
You are pretty close to the sort of small column control panel.
Yeah, I'm like next to the door. I didn't really go in as such.
Sid's gonna shout after the Tybalt was, fired. Soldier, hold your fire! Fucking hell! Right.
I think. You go first.
No, this is Carol.
I think I'm running for the tower where she clicked at. Is it something? It has control windows up there.
It does.
I think that's a good place to be.
Okay.
And now, maybe she will be resigned to shut down. So.
Okay. So Tybalt, as you start to move in, Ace, you were moving towards the control panel. Roll me a Contech, please.
Shit.
As you're rolling Contech, Doctor, roll me observation, please.
Oh, can I just close my eyes? Pretend nothing's happening.
Please? Yes! Success.
So Doctor observation. Ace, as you Doctor roll panic. Ace, as you maneuver, sort of swing yourself into position in front of the contact panel and start. It's antiquated. It's clearly been designed to stay and survive within this humid environment that this garden, inverted commas, is sort of cultivated in. So this rudimentary control panel at first catches you out a little bit, but you are able to sort of click a couple of sequences, and you can hear behind you the lock starting to unspin and the door mechanism beginning to open. Doctor, you are just about keeping it together.
I would also just if this is okay, I don't know how what the action economy is as such, but I will also draw my pistol at this point as well.
So technically that would be a slow action. I've got them all written down somewhere. But since we're not strictly in combat, as it were, I'm happy to play fast and loose with a bit of cinematic. So you can punch in the numbers, pull your weapon. Tybalt, you are bolting through. Sid, what are you doing while the doctor is sort of in close proximity to the poor Mr. Bryant?
I've still got my pistol trained on Amy. I'm going to say to her, right, you terminated the program. Now, how about let's all leave and we can discuss this in the hangar or somewhere safe.
I'm afraid terminating the program involves myself.
Right. Doesn't involve us, though. So can you kindly let us out before you off yourself, yeah?
As you say that, you can hear Ace having operated the door mechanism behind you, and you can begin to hear the door mechanism beginning to move.
Cool.
Tybalt, you begin to ascend the stairs. Now the sort of the spotlight's giving that red glow down in the immediate vicinity, looking up from the base almost into like an internal ladder that Amy must have descended when she came to join you here on this level. Looking up, you can see the light red pulsing above you, dipping into almost pure darkness, save for a slight red hue reflected back into the control section or control room above.
That's very creepy.
Because this hasn't been creepy up to this point.
It's the flashing lights. It finally hit me. Is there any? I have some experience with like tech stuff. Is there anything? Is there any like like push this button to stop it? Like this is the people override.
So are you ascending to the?
Oh yes.
Right. So as hand over hand, you're gonna have to sort of maneuver your spark gun and any other auxiliary weapons to holsters and sort of slung positions. And as you hand over hand sort of ascend the ladder, your own footsteps ringing out and echoing down the sort of the almost Pringle tube column that is the inside of this command section. And as you breach the top and into this sort of command deck layer, you can see panels lit up, bathed in this red pulsing light coming from a central point above you as it sort of rings in. And it's not until you sort of get to this point that you can start to see the monitors that Amy has clearly been using as part of her cultivation time here in this part of the section. And it is here, as you sort of crest in and sort of clear sort of mid to sort of waist height looking now at these monitors, you can see that it begins, the monitors read self-destruct all around. Every monitor countdown. You can see reads self-destruct.
Okay.
Doctor, Ace, and Sid, what are you doing? Tybalt has disappeared. You potentially saw a flash of a silhouette just in the command center, just in the briefest of moments. But to all intents and purposes, he is separated from you. Wesley Bryant is on the ground with this thing around him. Amy has returned her arm to the side when she was discussing the situation with you, Marshal Rook.
I'm literally just waiting for the door to open, and like I will radio to Tybalt, like, Tybalt, I've got the door open. Come on, let's go.
I'm gonna try and, if I can stop the countdown, I'm going to. Otherwise, I'm right behind you.
You can roll a contech. Roll a contech to try.
Got one of those.
Mr. Rook, no, I mean, I know the situation isn't exactly wonderful, but these things are opening, and if they get out, they're going to do the same thing that to you and I and the others if Mr. Bryant. So and I'm holding my briefcase as like a shield, and I'm gonna kind of move towards the door.
So, with my gun still trained on Amy, I'm going to say, all right, Doc's all right, calm down. What I want you to do is get up nice and slow and just move towards me. If you can't see me, just move towards the sound of my voice. I'm right behind you, all right, mate? I'll try and be as like reassuring as I can, but with a bit of, trying to give him a little bit of confidence and reassure him.
Supportive as you are.
Yeah, and that kind of like I'm going to kind of get up very, very as if I'm trying not to wake up, someone who is sleeping. I am going to get up and glide like as a classically trained dancer. Dr. Gray would be quite light on his feet, so he's just going to slide across towards Mr. Rook and get his way to the door as calmly as possible.
Okay. My good Dr. Gray, as you begin to get to your feet and begin to move slowly, you hear, it almost sounds like the popping of a balloon as across the sort of landscape as your height adjusts and you sort of meet where the top of the ovoids are, looking across, you begin to see fingers. I mean, they look like what's wrapped around poor Wesley Bryant. Down on the floor, these sort of tendril finger spindly appendages almost sort of starting to creep out the top of 2, 3, 4 of these things, and that's just in the one direction you're sort of gazing as you stand. Unfortunately, our good friend Tybalt, you are having to drop an item due to stress, so please choose an item that you no longer possess.
Okay.
And increase your stress level.
I think it's by and stress up to 4.
All right.
And I assume there's no success.
Okay. So as you panic and drop your item, I'll get rid of that. And the others are starting to move up, and these fingers are starting to appear across. I will stick a few of them just a bit further away. There we go. Somewhere in and around that sort of region from where you are, if you can see them on the map. The door, Ace, behind you opens fully this time. Light floods in, damp races past into this sort of, as the pressure sort of between the two sections equalize, there is now dim light behind you, but it is fresh air that stands now between you and hopefully safety.
I will like look to Sid and just be like, Sid, are you coming? Come on.
Yeah. Doctor, after you, mate. I'll sort of come to Tybalt. I'm slowly backing away, pistol still trained on Amy. Tybalt, you come in.
Yeah, I didn't shut it down. I'm with you. And I like go to do that cool thing where you just like slide down a ladder.
Cool things sound cool. Do a mobility roll for that. As you,
no!
Ace, you effectively breach the boundary, moving back into the main or the access corridor where the offices and other bits are. Sid and the good Dr. Gray are able to cross or move back to that threshold. As you begin to move, Amy begins to slowly advance. Again, she's not bracing your position, but as you move clear and back to where the door is, she moves to the comms unit, and she, I won't say coldly because that would imply emotion, but she says, someone is trying to tamper with the system. I must correct this. And she reaches over and pushes a button, and either side of you, Doctor and Sid, you can hear the door mechanism firing up again.
Can I...
Ace, can you fucking sort this out? Oi!
I was going to try.
Stop what you're doing right now and come with me.
Can I try to like...
Amy.
Can I try to like override the like either if I have to like almost like DDoS it and like short it out and like lock it where it's at, or can I try to like contest her to try and keep it open?
You can come and try and contest, absolutely.
What would you
Can
like?
I just try and throw myself through the door?
sliding onto the floor.
Yeah.
That would be a strength or unarmed strike.
No, I meant like, as in like, because I'm nowhere near her, am I?
No.
So as in, I'm trying to like use the control panel to like
you would know
contest what she's doing.
You would know in no uncertain terms, having just operated this to get the door open, you can do nothing from range. You have to be at the panel, face to face, nose to nose, effectively, almost competing as to which buttons you need pressing to get any kind of control of this situation as it stands.
Right, well, because I'm clear the other side of the door, I'm just going to take a pot shot at her then with my pistol and see if I can like knock her, like, you know, even if it buys them a second sort of thing.
While you roll your ranged attack, and before we go into initiative, Tybalt, please roll your stress, as I don't think you made it down the ladder as successfully as you'd hoped.
Okay. There was one success and one panic.
So it's panic wins, unfortunately. It's all panic.
Okay.
Question, my weapon has a bonus. Do I add that as to the modifier? Is that what that is?
We can try. Again, we are sorted.
It's a service pistol bonus 2, damage 1. So do I add 2 to my ranged combat?
I think it's built in, but we'll try it both ways because it'll help everybody moving through. So roll it once and see if it matches up with what it should be, and if it doesn't,
Well, I don't. That's the thing. I don't know what it should be. It'll either be 9 dice or 7.
Exactly.
So we'll try 9 first and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's added 3, 6, 9. That's added 2 extra.
Oh.
I did extra.
Right, so just as it is then.
So we'll resolve that as you re-roll correctly, or you got 2 6, you got even more. Oh, nice.
2 successes and a panic.
So roll your stress dice. Your shot goes wide, but we'll get to that in a second. Tybalt, you
The stress dice, sorry, is it
develop
just
a
D6?
nervous twitch as your stomach drops out as you grab the top of the lid and begin to slide down. And while you are so calm, a realization comes over you and you develop a nervous twitch. Please add 1 to your stress level.
Is it just?
Oh man.
Do I just roll 1 stress dice? Is that what that is? Sorry.
Yeah, it rolls 1 stress and then it adds your stress level to it.
Success.
6. Everyone else is so.
Oh, is it just a D6?
Panic. Yeah, it's a panic. Is there a
Panic.
button for panic? Sorry.
7.
So you also develop a nervous twitch, and because the other 2 are close by, they both increase their level of stress. As your shot goes wide, narrowly, but you miss your intended target, and you can almost see it sort of bounce and glint off the watchtower in the center as the door mechanism now begins to fire up. Even what took seconds before seems to have slowed down in the adrenaline as you've drawn your pistol, fired, missed, it's gone ting, and ricocheted off the central tower as the door mechanism is now coming in from that sort of weird diagonal horizontal sort of slide pattern.
Now or never, now or never. Come on.
Amy looks through the door as it begins to close with a sense of detachment. I'd like Sid, since you're the only one left able to see much, to roll an observation roll for me.
Oh, wonderful.
Double stress.
Yeah.
Panic!
Do I roll double panic or just
No,
the one?
just a single panic. Panic
Cool.
is panic is panic.
Cool. 8.
8. Nice. So for an 8. I mean, you're not dead.
Great success.
You start to tremble uncontrollably. You look more like the doctor does at this stage. And all rolls using agility suffer a -2. So when you get a modifier, if you're doing anything agility based, which for those without a character sheet is range combat, so your pistol's instantly at a disadvantage, mobility and piloting. Thank God that wasn't you, a ace.
Yep, take that.
But what you do see in this moment of panic, one is these small creatures now appearing into the sort of the central walkway, and at the base of the structure, just coming around, hued in red, you see Tybalt, and the door begins to now slide into the fully shut position.
Oh, am I on the wrong side of it, or can I still make it?
Ooh. you are technically on the wrong side, quite far back, with strange creatures
Okay.
and Amy between you and it. But you are welcome to try.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. If I am gonna shoot out all these creatures, it's better to have the door at my back, I guess.
Okay. So,
Mobility.
yeah, we'll go with mobility.
I mean, it could be survival, which I have better at. That.
Wits, survival. Yeah, I'll say you're trying to survive on your wits and your ability. I'll give you I'll be benevolent in this situation and let you use survival.
I'll take it. All right.
All right.
Love to see that.
This is where I thrive.
I mean, there was a lot of stress there to balance that off against, so you've done well. So, Tybalt, just having sort of given yourself you've dropped a weapon, the adrenaline's pumping, you're ready to fight or flight, and luckily they're both the same at this point in time, and they've only got one goal for you. As you come around and you just match Sid's eye line, you're able to skirt around the quickest you potentially ever moved, and you can hear the sounds of scurrying and almost like a coiled sprung leap as things seem to be moving in and around, especially in the shadows now, moving through as the door begins to come to, moving around, and it could be mere meters away. Amy watches you impassively, expecting the door to have closed by now, cinematic and all that sort of good stuff, as the door begins to move, and you literally have about a foot, maybe slightly more, of this large access way to squeeze through. No smart gun to sort of snag you up. You're almost lucky that came off you. You face down, it has no face, but you face down one of these crab sack egg tail things as it moves through, and as the doors hit that closing point, you slip through. Just everybody on the other side, I'm giving you another stress because that was cool and also stressful for me, so you're having it.
No, what? Sorry. Or
everybody, as Tybalt squeezes through this door almost into you, Sid, everybody take a point of stress.
Oh wait, me too?
Oh yeah.
So
You literally survive by the skin of your teeth.
Who is not in that room anymore then? Did we manage
The
to
only
get
person in the
everybody
room, I think, is Amy and all those wonderful little crab things.
out? Wicked,
And
I'll take that.
The doctor failed to save the still breathing Wesley Bryant, but that's...
Oh, and that guy, yeah.
I couldn't find the lungs. I just couldn't find the lungs.
I just couldn't do it.
Look at his butt for
I'll
some
help.
reason, like what?
I'll help Tybalt up. And fucking hell, you caught that close, mate. Right, should we get out of here?
Yeah.
You think you think that's probably a good idea? Yes, let's leave. I don't like this anymore.
We know the way we came in, but I managed to have a quick look at the
Schematics.
the sort of floor plan for the
plan,
facility. Yep. Is that something I would have able to have downloaded or something, or would I have had to have said then? I guess.
I think, given the structure, though technically advanced, serves a very singular purpose, it is a very simple floor plan because it serves one sole purpose. So you wouldn't have to have downloaded it. You would just have a mental snapshot of it, and you'd be able to we're here, that should be there, we can go to. So what I will do.
Who would you like to call?
Oh my god, no, Siri, I don't. Sorry.
No outside assistance, I'm afraid.
Sigourney Weaver, call Sigourney Weaver.
No, 50-50.
You would have liked to Sigourney Weaver. I like that.
So let's turn that off. So now you should, knowing you have the floor plan in mind, and you basically have been everywhere, basically, let's not oversell it, you, Sid, would be able to sort of give a good adjudication as to where you could go based on the floor plan.
Yep.
Which leads to the next question: where do you want to go based on the floor plan?
Right. There's a few things here. Obviously, we need to get out of here. Preferably all of us alive, as is now that you've rocked up, thankfully, Tybalt. But I'd still like to know what is going on here. And if we can find any form of data that we can take back, even to expose this shit, then I'd very much like to do that. Not to continue what they're doing, but to expose it. And preferably, if we can, blow this fucking place up.
Strange you should say that, because reverberating out through the door begins an audible sort of warning, almost, as Tybalt had seen the self-destruct screens within the command tower. It is now starting to be broadcast as though towards the final part of a countdown you may or may not know the length and duration of. So through the door, you can hear that self-destruction imminent.
Shit.
Self-destruction imminent.
I somehow don't think we've got time to do that, Sid. Let's fuck off all we can.
Yeah, fair play, mate.
And at this point, I've already started running. Just so that
What I will stress, Doctor, is there's very few places to run in this very small.
well, I'm running kind of like the way we came. I'm just there was a tunnel we went through that I was made to go through, and I'm running for the tunnel.
There was, and it is currently locked in front of you.
Can I just start slapping any kind of thing that looks like a control, and I mean slapping? I'm not even trying to like activate it.
You can slap the life out of electronics with your sweaty palms all you like. I will
That's
give you
100%
that.
what I'm doing.
So as the
Cool.
Doctor, go on.
Come on in, Ace. Can we open up? Doctor, calm down, mate. We'll get out of here. It's all right.
I saw that map when I was in the control tower. There's a door and stairs this way. Is that faster than the airlock? Even if we have to run round to the ship?
That's back the way we came, isn't it? That's in the
No,
room.
no. It's like, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
From
I
what I
thought-
can see.
Right, sure, yeah. It looked like. Sorry, I thought that.
You don't want to go back in there again.
I thought
That's all
that place
sealed
was
off.
self-contained. Sorry, that's my mistake. Right, let's get
Up
out of
that
here.
tunnel that we came through, I think.
See if we can get back out the airlock then.
All right, try and operate the airlock then, Ace, with the Comtech. Since this is the first time you would have operated this panel at this end.
Sake. I've got a feeling that this isn't going to go off. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Let's have a panic.
9.
Oh my. Oh my. You also need to drop an item of your choice and increase your stress level by 1.
Oh.
If you have any stress left to increase.
What's the stress limit?
I think it's 10.
Oh, I've got loads. I've still got I'm at 4 at the moment.
Yeah, so up to...
Or is it like up to a stat?
Basically, you can have up to 10 points of stress.
Okay, well,
There are ways of alleviating stress, but unfortunately, you just keep putting yourselves in stressful situations.
Yeah, I'm halfway there, so I will. It's like I didn't come in with it, and it's just getting in my way, so I'm dropping that shotgun that I picked up. It's like banging off me as I'm trying to like click buttons in. I just like shrug it off my shoulders and just throw it behind me.
There is a moment where this shotgun loops in the air and rattles off the floor. There's a moment of actual panic when at least 2 of you, probably the Doctor, think the thing is about to fire off as it whacks against the floor, loaded, and then settles on the ground. And again, behind you as this shotgun is landing, self-destruction imminent.
Stupid fucking thing.
Seeing that we're all getting a little bit aggy and a bit stressed, myself included, Sid's gonna attempt to sort of bring a sense of calm and authority to the situation.
How would you like to do that?
I suppose by using my command
Absolutely. Please
ability.
do. Yeah, please do. Self-destruction.
Oh, geez. I mean, it's not worked. I've got to panic there, but I'll do the role play anyway. Then I'll roll panic if that's all right.
Roger. Yeah, of course.
Right, everyone, we are going to get out of here alive. Let's try and calm the fuck down and do what we can. Right? Just try and ignore that. And obviously, as Sid's going, it's slightly falling apart at the seams, his speech, so it's just hoping for the best. Thoughts and prayers. Oh, 9, great.
So you get to drop something as well.
Probably be my flashlight, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense. So as you make this impassionate speech, you're actually interrupted by self-destruction imminent, and it throws you off your game, and your flashlight drops to the floor, illuminating the shotgun now facing you as a quartet in a rather ominous way, even without the sound of the self-destruct sort of routine happening through a solid metal door just behind you. The way the flashlight illuminates the end of the shotgun facing ominously towards you and this apparently blocked or inoperable escape route. Stuff going.
Right.
Any ideas, anyone?
So here's the thing. It's like the classic D&D thing is just like if you roll crap, you can't attempt it again.
Nope,
Is
that's not how it
Alien
works.
a thing? Can I just keep going?
No, you can push the roll to give yourself as much stress. You can only do that once, or if you frame it slightly differently and somebody helps you, I will let you roll it again from scratch. So you
Is
either
anybody-
take it on your own back and push the roll, but you add your own stress, or you get assistance. So however you want to deal with this situation.
No, I'll push it.
Roger. So add stress, roll contact.
Can I pick up the shotgun?
Yes.
Success!
Yes, you can. Nice. Ace, as you are dealing with the access panel to open this, you managed to punch it in. Whatever was happening with the doctor stroking all the various bits of wiring, you somehow have managed to find a working connection to get the access door to activate. And again, as that shift of atmosphere changes and bright, brilliant light floods back into this sort of dimly lit section where you are, over your shoulder and almost, I don't know, quietly, the good doctor bends down and lifts the shotgun from the floor.
Do you know how to use that, Doc?
My mother was in the military, and I'm holding it and I'm rattling. Like I haven't got my finger on the trigger. I'm not stupid, but the shotgun. If I could compare it to anything, it's like a single maraca in my hand. I'm shaking it that violently.
Just
All right.
try not to shoot me.
Just take it easy, yeah?
The door it's open, yeah, and I'm just looking at it, kind of pointing at it with the gun.
Yeah, let's be careful where we point that, and yeah, after you then, Doc.
Yep, gotta go straight up the tunnel.
Don't need telling him twice.
No.
Okay, as you move up, I was going to say bolt, wrong word. As you move through the tunnel, doctor leading, shotgun wavering.
Yeah, like a ticker tape parade.
Whirling the baton. Anyway, we're not going into dance moves. Moving down with this shotgun in hand, getting to the end, you are confronted with the solid metal doors through which you passed earlier. And the recollection hits you there that there is no access panel this end. There's only one access panel to operate these entire set of double doors, and it's back that way because no one's in the command tower to open this forward set of doors for you.
There isn't an access tunnel, there isn't kind of a smaller hatch that we could.
Yeah, this is on my ticket.
Ace, mate, is it possible you think we could jerry rig one of our devices and remotely operate it whilst we're in the tunnel?
I don't really know. This thing is really old. I don't think it will hold up like that. It's not designed to bypass like that.
And what about electrical grenades?
I think you run the risk of shutting it on both ends. I mean, there's nothing good back that way anyway, really. But
all right. I'll stay. Open up the door for you, and if you get to the command center, open it up your end for me. Yeah.
All right.
But everyone, go with Ace.
Mr. Ace, maybe you should go to the. I can do the command button, but maybe you should get the plane, the space plane that we're on, the ship. Maybe you should get the ship ready.
You know how to use the system?
It's just a button.
All right. Cool, we'll do that then. So Sid goes back, opens up the doors. I'll run to the ship with Tybalt, and Dr. Ashin hopefully opens the door for Sid. That's the plan of action.
It's a good plan. Nothing hurts with a good plan. So as you set up in your various locations, we will take a contact from the good doctor to operate the door. So it shuts one end and opens your end.
No, so Sid is going back to shut the door because we can't go forwards.
Correct.
Once we're into the comm tower,
yes,
the doctor will then try to open it for Sid.
So he has to go back and open.
So Sid will have to go back and shut the airlock from this end to get our end open.
Sid. So wrong person. So Sid, go and do contact from the other end of the.
I'll also use my Siegson device as well.
Okay, please do.
Oi.
So many successes and a panic. Truly so many successes.
And a panic.
That's very annoying.
7. So you increase you get a nervous twitch. So your hand's a bit unsteady, and you get a nervous twitch. But what actually happens is you're able to operate the door. So Sid, the door closest to you closes, effectively sealing that passageway. You then hear a glitch behind it. Means nothing to you at the moment. At the far end, Ace, Tybalt, and Dr. Gray, there's a moment as the pressure changes, as the tube effectively you're in seals, and then a shift as the door opens. You can now see, even from the sort of the shadowy section with the light spilling over from behind you, you can see the ship in repair. You know the command center is above your heads as you can go up to the ladder, and you can still see the huge roller door open about a meter.
Right, Doctor, up there. That's where you're going. I'm going to go fire her up. I'll start
I'm
running towards the ship.
Straight up.
Okay, straight up, straight to the ship. Tybalt, what are you? Tybalt. Yes.
Yeah, Tebow.
Tybalt.
I'm waiting. Yeah, it's the same. I think probably the best thing is just to back up the doctor with the Comtech.
Okay. So as Thibaut and the doctor ascend into the command center, neither of you have seen this before, so you're taken a bit aback by the screens, some of which seem to be flashing red, as in warning. The link should be obvious, but you never know why things are flashing red. And as you sort of ascend up the ladder, you can see Ace go sliding through under the roller door, because you're awesome.
70s action hero for sure. Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely. Probably pistol out at the same time, just to check your surroundings. So before we get to the contact with you two, Ace, I'd like an observation roll as you dramatically move under this roller door.
I don't like that. All right, well, this is literally just wits for me, basically, because I add nothing to this.
Nice.
My wits are okay. Double panic, double success.
It's not being kind to you. And yet,
That's okay.
it's being kind to me.
That's fine. 11.
11. All right. So you must seek cover with your next action. You're going to the ship anyway, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
I think what happens is like, whereas like normally you'd have like your peripheral, I'm in such a panic that I just get tunnel vision and all I can see is like the down ramp of the ship, and I'm just like.
So your eyes are very much fixated on the ship. Your
Yeah.
baby Springer, she's sat there waiting for you to make sure that she's still good to go. The soft sand hasn't swallowed her in or anything. But more on that in a moment. Sid, you at the far end of the passageway back now have the solitary and yet ominous tones. Self-destruction imminent. Just ringing gently in your ear as you stand there.
Gonna get on the comms. Doctor, T-Boy, how we doing? Are we getting any closer to opening this tunnel?
Yep, we're working on it.
And with that, I would like one of you to roll Comtech for me, please.
I'm just looking over at Tebow, and I'm like, Mr. Tebow, maybe this is something that you might just tell me what to do. I can assist.
Go. Sure. Then I'll do using that experience from the other control tower. I'll roll with the +1.
Okay. Happy with that?
We did a few rolls. My computer's anyway.
Alright, it'll pop up when it pops up.
Oh. There it goes.
Okay. Okay. So, unfortunately, I'd like you to roll a little bit of stress as the pair of you, while you had familiarity within the room, there was so much going on. You dropped your gun. There was the situation with Amy, the door, these spider creatures. So while you are in the room, you get to drop something else. It's all going wrong.
Okay.
Fingers and thumbs at this point in time.
For sure.
So, while you are... Come back to it. While you two are in the sort of the command room, this end above the hangar, Sid, having radioed through, you hear over the comms a sort of little bit of panic, a little bit of fumbling. You hear something hit a desk or hit one of the consoles. The door in front of you makes a strange, whiny, mechanical squeak or squeal and seems to move together tighter. And you can see just at the joint, it seems to have got super hot just for a fraction, almost like it's welded in position. Self-destruction imminent.
Doc, Chiba, I think you've certainly not opened it.
We pushed the button. Did anything happen on your end?
If anything, it looked like it got the door closed itself more. I don't know. I heard mechanisms, but it's not budging. I don't know if it's locked or.
Can I just like someone's grandmother trying to figure out a mobile phone, just start bashing like the desk? I literally just want to start everything. I'm just going to start hitting everything.
Yes, you can start hitting everything. Do me a contact, unassisted. with all your stress. While you're doing that, Ace, out at Springer, you do a cursory survey. Everything seems to be okay. Nothing has been sort of sucked up into the intake. She seems flight worthy. You get on board and you can do an assessment of Springer. If you want to, you can do an observation while you were out there. You were seeking cover anyway with this turn.
Yeah. So I think I just run straight in, hit my pilot chair, like put my like G harness thing on. Like I'll, in an attempt to sort of calm myself down, I will like touch my little like my night bobblehead.
Okay.
See if I can like center myself with that a little bit. And then I will take my dispatch. What's the co-pilot called?
Stevenson's back up on
Cool.
Gamma Bunter.
Springer one, Stevenson, are you there?
I'm here, boyo.
We're coming as fast as we can. We're coming out hot though. I don't think all of us are coming though, so just bear with me.
Okay. Over.
And I'll throw the thing and start like flicking switches to fire up Springer.
Okay. Because you touch your bobblehead and send yourself, take one stress off. Dr. Gray, bashing the panel.
No successes and no stresses.
Indeed. So you're just as worried as you were before. However, in your haste to try and help out, bashing the panels with Thibaut next to you, whacking, you hear a mechanical sound from behind you through the windows in the hangar as the roller shut door begins to lower. Sid, what are you up to? Self-destruction imminent.
Sid is going to reach into his pocket and hold on to his broken pocket watch that he's got in there, which belonged to a friend of his many years ago. And he's just going to think. And he's going to think of anything that he possibly saw in the floor plan that might be a alternative way out that isn't this tunnel, or even try and think if he has to use this tunnel, maybe try and do what he initially suggested to Ace, if he can do it.
Thinking
sort of
about
like remote, like, you know, opening it up and then remotely opening it,
doing something.
That sort of thing.
Thinking back to the floor plan, there was an airlock just tucked into one side, literally the smallest of airlocks, as a potential escape route, but you'd have to sort of navigate through an office or two to get your way there. Other than that, it's this tunnel, that airlock, or back in with Amy.
Airlock it is then. I'm going to come through. Guessing you fucked it then. I'm going to try and go for an airlock.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Rook. I'm going to cut comms and I'm going to run for the door.
Okay. Give me a mobility check. Thibaut, what are you doing? Not sure. We'll work that.
I think Kai might have frozen.
Yep.
So we'll work with that. We'll say that she's moving potentially with you.
Oh yeah, because the doctor's totally selfless and would totally ring Kai.
Yeah, I'm still here. My video just
That's fine.
stuck. I think if there's nothing else to be done, like die for the. It might be me dragging the doctor. It might be the doctor dragging me.
But Dan, the doctor's
Pretty
about
neck
to roll
and
some.
neck.
The doctor's about to roll some panic, but I would like a mobility roll from you, Thibaut, to see. Nice, doctor.
Okay.
So seven. You've got a nervous twitch. So the pair of you are now sort of twitching, sprinting, gasping, running for this door. Your stress level, in conjunction with each other, is also increased by 1. Which has an adverse effect on Thibaut as you're both moving for the door. So Thibaut, please roll me stress. Sid, Marshall Rook, I would like a contact roll from you. Self-destruction imminent.
Oh, damn. Cancelled out. 10. Oh, hey.
Oh, 10. Nice. You are. Sorry, leave that up. You're trying to think logically, but with this warning in behind your head, the plan as outlaid by you as a team awry, you're just struggling to think of where to go next. Which door was it? Which airlock? What was the you're just frozen there for a moment. Self-destruct imminent. Thibaut and the good doctor. Screen back up so I can watch your reactions. As you are moving through the door, you are looking at each other. You're sort of stumbling down the ladders back into the hangar bay. You trip over one of the work tools. You inexplicably run the long way around the spaceship that's under maintenance within the door, and you just see the last of the light fade as the door anchors down into the base.
Fuck.
Aboard Springer, Ace, you are none the wiser. You might have heard some of the comms chatter, but you've been trying to center yourself. You're ready. I will give Sid one more chance to rationalize some form of action to get yourself out, and I will let then Thibaut and the doctor have one last attempt. So, Sid.
Can I use my talent to do this? So the investigator talent in terms of really trying to think logically about that
Yes.
floor plan or that sort of
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
No. No. Roll me stress while you panic in one way, shape, or
10
description.
again. Just frozen.
Brother.
You got that age-old analysis paralysis. I'm afraid. Self-destruction imminent. Thibaut and the doctor, you have one chance to get out, and it is now. How you do it is up to you, but you need to let me know.
Can you blow the door open?
That's pretty much what I was thinking of. You know what? I don't think it's even that rational. Where the ball is going to be, he's shooting at it. Hopes it does the right thing of destroy the panel, the door. So yeah, that's smart gun
Smart
shooting.
gun. Smart gun. You dropped. You have dropped.
I dropped my rifle.
Okay, my mistake. Yeah, go with the smart gun then.
And there it is.
And there it was gone.
Son of a bitch.
So, do you have any final words just before I
Oh my god.
go to Ace? Excellent. Ace, so out in Springer, you're sort of firing the engines up. Do an observation roll for me, just for funsies.
Yeah, I mean, nothing ominous can come out for sure. Observation. Okay. Success.
Nice. So, it's been too long. Someone should have joined you by now. You are well aware that the situation was going south. You were there when it started going south, and you are well on top of it. However, you scanning around and listening, even with the sound of jets of Springer sort of firing up and sort of getting ready to lift you off the planet's surface when the others get on board, whoever gets on board, you hear the heavy impact of the roller door shutter drop. That resonates out through the back of the cabin and the landing ramp, or sort of the loading ramp up into Springer. Ahead of you, you notice that the sand starts to depress in 2 or 3 sporadic places, as though something is drawing a void underneath. And then just as you are taking this all in, I'd like you to do a piloting roll for me.
Okay, right. So, I need to clarify something with you real fast then.
You can clarify as
So
many things as
I
you-
have my talent is called Reckless, which basically means that I live for the rush of adrenaline through my veins, pushing harder than no others dare. I can push any skill based on agility, which piloting is, twice and not just once. So does that mean that I can just make a roll and then push
Make it,
and then
fluff
push
it,
again?
Push, yes.
Cool. Right. Okay.
Effectively going until you succeed, in theory.
Theoretically. Right. Cool. I don't have anything that aids my piloting, but my piloting is quite high. So let's see what happens. Wow.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So,
I
Yes.
freeze.
all right. How this plays out. Sid, unfortunately, you will be the wick to this particular candle, should we say. So behind you, self-destruction imminent, and then there is what you think is like a series of bleeps. It's hard to tell. You can go in and listen to the door if you want. Beep, 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 and then silence. There is a change in pressure you can feel through the door that ripples through the building, and as it envelops, and I'm just going to be broad brush here, it envelops the whole facility. It ripples out from that central command tower out into that entire facility, sort of rear end of the facility, down through. It blasts past you and it ripples down both sides and down that passageway, blowing into the hangar, blowing up the spaceship in the loading dock that still had fuel, and unfortunately scorching the good doctor and our poor ex-colonial marine against the blast door. That blast door is pushed outwards. The force lifts Springer nose forward, dragging it through the dirt. The last thing you see, Ace, other than a comms link to Stevenson asking
Can
how
I?
things are going.
So
Yes,
sorry,
go on.
Adam.
Yeah.
Can I not use my push because I froze? Does that like negate the push?
I'll let you go with it.
Because like I think because it's reckless, I feel like as it's going nose first, like that's like a cool thing
do it,
to try
do
and
it.
see if I can.
Absolutely.
We're gonna
As the tail end of Springer is lifted and pushed on this pressure wave from the explosion.
Right, so I've added my stress, so we'll see what happens, and then I'm gonna push one last time, and if I die, I die. One last time for the road, then.
Last time for the road.
Come on, Ace.
I want you to succeed.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Nice. So, as Springer scrapes across the front of the dirt, you're almost about to drop into this divot. The last thing you see before you collect yourself and pull the nose back, lifting Springer clear of the surface, is this scorpionoid type creature beginning to lunge towards the windscreen, literally pincers out, about to drag you down. But you're able to lift the nose, ascend above as this rather beautiful, dramatic explosion happens in the, action movie shot, escapes the big bad explosion, blows up, obliterates, sends a shockwave clear across what is probably the hemisphere of this LV-832. You lift and almost coast back into sort of the lower orbit. The last thing you hear, Ace, before we leave is, Mayday, Mayday, this is the USCCS, USCSS Cronus requesting immediate assistance.
Is Cronus my ship?
No, luckily not. And that is where we'll end.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why he's called Ace.
Beautiful.
Should we do
I know that
Sorry.
T-Bone's last words were definitely like tabernacle, and then it just.
Yeah, the doctor was just crying. Just 100% cried. He just looked at T-Bone and just started crying.
Thank you very much to the players and our producer Tempest. It's been amazing, giving me prompts and nudges when I need them. Should we go around briefly for where we can find each of you in your respective locations? Starting with Declan. Again, we'll go alphabetically.
Wow, that was phenomenal. Adam, thank you so much. And Tempest, thank you so much for all your help in the background as well. That was fantastic. You can find me on Twitter at DeclanDDY. That's basically where I live. So you'll find me there. You'll find me kind of haunting the place. Or you can check out my podcast at D8 Dungeon as well. If you're into... If the good doctor didn't annoy you too much, you'll love my other NPCs. So hopefully you'll give that a check out as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well recommended, D8 the Dungeon. Moving on to alphabetically, Josh. Sorry, my alphabet has escaped me.
It's all right. Hi, I'm Singularity Josh. You can find me everywhere online at Singularity Josh. Or if D&D should more your speed and you want to see me play more characters, I play Artem over at Kilted Cajun RPG on a Friday with my boy Rob.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Adam. That was fucking amazing. And thank you so much to Morgan for producing the game. Killer job.
Yeah, absolutely. Kai, would you like to venture your good self?
Sure. It's been really fun playing this. I'm Kai, and I think it says on the screen Al39 on Twitter, but it does not say. Keep following Roll, I guess. And I sometimes also Roll plus Bond for charity streams. We do them annually or so. So yeah.
Nice. Rob, please.
So I am Rob the Undead Gamer. You can find me everywhere on the internet at the Undead Gamer, gaming without the E. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I also stream on Twitch, so twitch.tv/the Undead Gamer. I'm playing a variety of things all the time. And also, like Josh said, catch us on a Friday playing D&D at Kilted Cajun RPG, and also listen to Josh's podcast, The Undead Gaming Cast, where we talk about video games, the industry, and stuff, and/or things. Thank you so much, Adam. That was fantastic. Super good fun. And thank you, Tempest, as well, for producing. Awesome jobs all round, and great to play with you guys. It was awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Adam. I'm the sort of DM of Snyder's Return and the interviews for Snyder's Return, a tabletop role-playing interview and actual play podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Return Snyder. I don't know if Tempest, do you want to sort of sell yourself? No, you can find Tempest online. Watch their stream on Twitch.
Guys, gals, non-binary pals, that was Alien RPG, run by the masterful Schneider's Return. I am your MC for this section, Singularity Josh. Sat in the chat with me is our producer Tempest, killing it, as always. How did you guys enjoy that? How fun was that? Can't believe that. Skin in my teeth, skin in my teeth. It was so much fun playing with everybody. So, how are we doing? So, 2723, that's incredible. Hey, what's up, Lucky Dog? How you going? Yeah, Tofu, that was Tempest's suggestion to dramatically remove sunglasses. So if you like that touch, go at them. It worked out pretty nicely. Cool, I'm just catching up on what's going on. I think Declan's still in the Google captions because my captions are going as well as his. Tempest, I don't know if you can do anything about that. Alien RPG looks so much. Yeah, it was a great time. Holy hell. Head shaving time. It is indeed head shaving time. I do in fact owe you a head shaving because I set a goal at £2,000, and we are well beyond that. We are at £2,723 on the dot. Team Order Uwu with the £1.31 as the last donation. So I'm gonna queue up Tempest to start running a thing, and don't fear, they have arranged it so you will be able to see me buzz my head. But if you're wondering, like, if you forgot what I look like, because obviously I've had the cap on for the last, 3 hours or whatever, that's how much hair I've got. I've got a lot of hair, right? I'm well overdue for a haircut, so it just so happens that we're going to be getting rid of that, it would seem. So when Tempest is ready, adverts, and you can watch me do it.
A number of misconceptions. There's an enormous big Britain is a country, perhaps more than any other. Nowhere like we're aggressive. One in four. Great.
Bipolar changed my personality by making me the person that I didn't ever want to be. I was very, very low. My self-confidence, self-esteem and self-worth went. I just felt very sort of isolated, and I felt like I couldn't talk to friends and family because I couldn't really express what was going on. I knew there was something wrong, but I couldn't put it into words how I felt.
When I was in hospital, physical restraint would happen quite regularly to me. I spent most of the 90s, which was my 20s, in and out of hospital with 5 really serious admissions. It was just an unimaginably fearful experience, and I felt quite scared, isolated, not many people to turn to.
Someone mentioned mine to me. I went down one evening, and I was fortunate that one of the staff there was able to spend some time with me. He just reassured me that what I was living through was perfectly normal. I began to develop relationships and friendships with people who I could actually speak openly with about my mental illness. People who, as I put it, they got it.
My first experience of mind was through a recovery centre in Hackney called iRemind. Just went there and it was fantastic staff, discussion groups, art, empathy, compassion is at the forefront of their organisation.
They really do help people, and they care as well, and it's very, very obvious that they're there because they want to help people, not just because it's their job.
There's something really extraordinary about the Mind Network and the work we do with people with lived experience of mental health problems. Sometimes people come to us because they need our help and support, but as they receive that help and support, they're often then become part of our movement for change.
I got in touch with the media team and they asked me if I would like to be involved in a couple of the projects.
Over the last couple of years, we've been campaigning on the issue of restraint, which is when somebody's being held down against their will. Gary was very involved in the campaign from the start, and he really helped to bring the campaign to life by sharing his very traumatic experiences so that people could understand what it feels like to be restrained.
Just sharing that lived experience, which is so important. A lot of the experiences, once you talk about them, I'm sure it does take away a lot of the fear and normalises it a bit.
Because Solent Mind have helped me, I want to give back and help others because of the fantastic work they did with me. They started coming up with different ideas that I could do, and one of them was to start going into colleges. My name's Avi and I'm from the mental health charity Solent Mind, and we raise awareness and understanding of mental health in a project that I run called Heads Up, which is for young people, and just to get an understanding of what mental health is and how important it is to talk about mental health.
I thought, you know what, I'm going to raise some money for Mind, because I'd never forgotten the impact that Mind had had on my life. I'm now currently approaching the end of 12 months of fundraising for Mind.
It was the most amazing experience of my life, running the Virgin Money London Marathon for Mind. The crowds were absolutely fantastic. Mind constantly say that no one should live with a mental illness alone, and that's my mission, to help them to achieve that and help others in the same way that they helped me those years.
We are Mind, and we are working together to make a huge difference for now and the future.
There's a place where all of your dreams come true. Hello, my friends. It's me, your friendly feline paladin, Katayab Khan. I'm from a podcast called Vicky's World, where a perilous quest is just a thing you do. It's cool as cats, man. It's a comedy D&D adventure filled with action, conspiracy, murder, and a cast of diverse characters. Like the mysterious shape-shifting wizard Sally Spearfish, the tough but tiny kung fu cop called Gwathryn, and shiny golden knight and best friend ever Archie Morgan. And it's all created and narrated by the goddess of games mastery herself, Vicky Hoary. So grab your horse and join the crew. You can find Vicky's World on all podcast platforms, or watch us live on twitch.tv/Vicky's World RPG. Subscribe now and I'll see you down in Vicky's World.
Hey there and welcome. My name is Carlos Berlitz, and this video we are talking about the newest show from my channel, that is In the News. And In the News is a show focusing on the indie tabletop RPG scene. It is a weekly show that will bring the most of the news that you will find on the scene, not just releases. We are talking news in general, what has been moving on and what is new, what is coming out. And then you can check it out here in a bite-sized format and then make you informed from the indie scene. So I hope that you enjoy from it, and I'll see you all in my next video. So see ya!
In the past, people thought if you had a mental health problem, you would never feel better. You might meet people who still feel this. Maybe you feel this way about yourself. Mental health is just like physical health. Everybody has it and needs to look after it. If your feelings, thoughts and reactions are getting in the way of how you want to live, if you feel things aren't right, if you feel like you need help, you can ask for it. We're not going to pretend it's easy. Mental health problems can change your life, and for some they can be overwhelming. But that's why Mind is here. We're going to face it with you. We'll listen, give support and fight your corner. To find out more, visit mind.org.uk.
Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we're merely role players. Now playing in the main house, Vigil.
It's true. My department has abandoned this town and left you to fend for yourselves against your worst nightmares. But I promise I'm not going anywhere, and I'm asking you to join me. Your neighbours never need to wake up and remember their nightmares, because we'll be there, keeping watch.
Vigil, a Merely Role Players production. Search for Merely Role Players wherever you find podcasts. Maximum drama guaranteed.
Snide's Return is a tabletop role-playing game interviews and actual play podcast. We interview content creators, Twitch streamers, and fellow podcasters, and we put out our own actual play using a variety of different systems. So come and join us, come and have a listen. You can find us on Twitter at Return Snyder. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or check out our website at www.snidesreturn.squarespace.com.
We're Mind, the mental health charity. We're here for anyone with a mental health problem in England and Wales. We work nationally and locally. Nationally, we give advice and support to anyone who needs it. We campaign to improve services and speak out to raise awareness too. We're funded by donations, grants and profits from our charity shops.
If you donate or fundraise for Mind, 79p of every pound goes to our charitable activities.
On the High Street, we have over 150 shops selling clothes, books and toys. They give away free mental health information booklets to anyone who needs them. In communities, we have a network of over 140 local minds, independent charities that raise their own funds and have their own trustees. Local minds deliver mental health services to hundreds of thousands of people each year. Being local, they understand their community and tailor their services in response. We work in partnership with our local mind network, delivering high-quality services to everyone who needs them. Together with our shops and our local mind network, we are Mind.
Yeah, so there's grenades
Did you drop it in the ocean?
You
asshole.
Die! Yay, I got one. No, someone else got one.
I'm trying to catch a fish.
And then do you see the fish?
Oh my god, there's a fish in my face.
How do you like it?
Out there.
I don't know. But
Nothing to see here. I'm not you know, I'm not. Yes, I am insane. Oh, stop screaming. I'm Freddy. I have a love of lead pipes. And wrenches.
There are a number of misconceptions surrounding mental health. There's an enormous stigma. Britain is a country, perhaps more than any other, where you might say that the national emotion is embarrassment. And nowhere is that clearer than when it comes to issues of mental health. We're addressing a real crisis. 1 in 4 people in any given year suffer from a mental health condition. The greatest cause of death amongst men under the age of 35 is suicide.
My first overdose was in 2003, December. I felt I had no future. I couldn't hold down work. I genuinely believed that the people around me, for all the hurt I was causing them, would be better off if I wasn't there.
Bipolar changed my personality by making me the person that I didn't ever want to be. I was very, very low. My self-confidence, self-esteem and self-worth went. I just felt very sort of isolated, and I felt like I couldn't talk to friends and family because I couldn't really express what was going on. I knew there was something wrong, but I couldn't put it into words how I felt.
When I was in hospital, physical restraint would happen quite regularly to me. I spent most of the 90s, which was my 20s, in and out of hospital with 5 really serious admissions. It was just an unimaginably fearful experience, and I felt quite scared, isolated, not many people to turn to.
Someone mentioned Mind to me. I went down one evening and I was fortunate that one of the staff there was able to spend some time with me. He just reassured me that what I was living through was perfectly normal. I began to develop relationships and friendships with people who I could actually speak openly with about my mental illness. People who, as I put it, they got it.
My first experience of Mind was through a recovery centre in Hackney called IRE Mind. Just went there and it was fantastic staff, discussion groups, art, empathy, compassion is at the forefront of their organisation.
They really do help help people and they care as well, and it's very, very obvious that they're there because they want to help people, not just because it's their job.
There's something really extraordinary about the Mind Network and the work we do with people with lived experience of mental health problems. Sometimes people come to us because they need our help and support, but as they receive that help and support, they're often then become part of our movement for change.
I got in touch with the media team and they asked me if I would like to be involved in a couple of the projects.
Over the last couple of years we've been campaigning on the issue of restraint, which is when somebody's being held down against their will. Gary was very involved in the campaign from the start, and he really helped to bring the campaign to life by sharing his very traumatic experiences so that people could understand what it feels like to be restrained.
Just sharing that lived experience, which is so important. A lot of the experiences, once you talk about them, I'm sure it does take away a lot of the fear and normalises it a bit.
Because Solent Mind have helped me, I want to give back and help others because of the fantastic work they did with me. They started coming up with different ideas that I could do, and one of them was to start going into colleges. My name's Avi and I'm from the mental health charity Solent Mind, and we raise awareness and understanding of mental health in a project that I run called Heads Up, which is for young people, and just to get an understanding of what mental health is and how important it is to talk about mental health.
I thought, you know what, I'm going to raise some money for Mind because I'd never forgotten the impact that Mind had had on my life. I'm now currently approaching the end of 12 months of fundraising for Mind.
It was the most amazing experience of my life, running the Virgin Money London Marathon for Mind. The crowds were absolutely fantastic. Mind constantly say that no one should live with a mental illness alone, and that's my mission, to help them to achieve that and help others in the same way that they helped me those years.
We are Mind, and we are working together to make a huge difference for now and the future.
In the past, people thought if you had a mental health problem, you would never feel better. You might meet people who still feel this. Maybe you feel this way about yourself. Mental health is just like physical health. Everybody has it and needs to look after it. If your feelings, thoughts and reactions are getting in the way of how you want to live, if you feel things aren't right, if you feel like you need help, you can ask for it. We're not going to pretend it's easy. Mental health problems can change your life, and for some they can be overwhelming. But that's why Mind is here. We're going to face it with you. We'll listen, give support, and fight your corner. To find out more, visit mind.org.uk.
Hi, I'm Dungeon Meowster, and I use they them pronouns.
I'm a variety streamer focusing on adventure, a grove where forest dwellers live, platforming,
Oh, the bombs!
simulation,
Blah! Blah! Blah!
and RPGs.
Oh, what? Oh no, the sun!
I also host various tabletop role-playing games.
My objective is puns, not plot.
My community is comfy, cozy, and very welcoming to non-binary and trans individuals, as well as neurodivergent folks. We have a very active and lovely Discord server you can join as well. It's a great place to find LGBTQ+ folks interested in tabletop role-playing games or excellent wholesome memes. You can find my full schedule and more information about me in the panels below.
I mean, I know you're here for me, but really, you're here for this cat.
Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we're merely role players. Now playing in the main house, Vigil.
It's true. My department has abandoned this town and left you to fend for yourselves against your worst nightmares. But I promise I'm not going anywhere, and I'm asking you to join me. Your neighbours never need to wake up and remember their nightmares, because we'll be there, keeping watch.
Vigil, a Merely Role Players production. Search for Merely Role Players wherever you find podcasts. Maximum drama guaranteed.
There's a place where all of your dreams come true. Hello, my friends. It's me, your friendly feline paladin, Katayab Khan. I'm from a podcast called Vicky's World, where a perilous quest is just a thing you do. It's cool as cats, man. It's a comedy D&D adventure filled with action, conspiracy, murder, and a cast of diverse characters. like the mysterious shape-shifting wizard Sally Spearfish, the tough but tiny kung fu cop called Gwathryn, and shiny golden knight and best friend ever Archie Morgan. And it's all created and narrated by the goddess of games mastery herself, Vicky Horley. So grab your horse and join the crew. You can find Vicky's World on all podcast platforms, or watch us live on twitch.tv/Vicky's World RPG. Subscribe now and I'll see you down in Vicky's World.
In the past, people thought if you had a mental health problem, you would never feel better. You might meet people who still feel this. Maybe you feel this way about yourself. Mental health is just like physical health. Everybody has it and needs to look after it. If your feelings, thoughts and reactions are getting in the way of how you want to live, if you feel things aren't right, if you feel like you need help, you can ask for it. We're not going to pretend it's easy. Mental health problems can change your life, and for some they can be overwhelming. But that's why Mind is here. We're going to face it with you. We'll listen, give support, and fight your corner. To find out more, visit mind.org.uk.
Snide's Return is a tabletop role-playing game interviews and actual play podcast. We interview content creators, Twitch streamers, and fellow podcasters, and we put out our own actual play using a variety of different systems. So come and join us, come and have a listen. You can find us on Twitter at ReturnSnyder. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or check out our website at www.snidesreturn.squarespace.com.
Hey there and welcome. My name is Carlos Berlitz, and this video we are talking about the newest show from my channel, that is In the News. And In the News is a show focusing on the indie tabletop RPG scene. It is a weekly show that will bring the most of the news that you will find on the scene, not just releases. We are talking news in general, what has been moving on and what is new, what is coming out. And then you can check it out here in a bite-sized format and then make you informed from the indie scene. So I hope that you enjoy from it, and I'll see you all in my next video. So see ya!
There are a number of misconceptions surrounding mental health. There's an enormous stigma. Britain is a country, perhaps more than any other, where you might say that the national emotion is embarrassment. And nowhere is that clearer than when it comes to issues of mental health. We're addressing a real crisis. 1 in 4 people in any given year suffer from a mental health condition. The greatest cause of death amongst men under the age of 35 is suicide.
My first overdose was in 2003, December. I felt I had no future. I couldn't hold down work. I genuinely believed that the people around me, for all the hurt I was causing them, would be better off if I wasn't there.
Bipolar changed my personality by making me the person that I didn't ever want to be. I was very, very low. My self-confidence, self-esteem and self-worth went. I just felt very sort of isolated, and I felt like I couldn't talk to friends and family because I couldn't really express what was going on. I knew there was something wrong, but I couldn't put it into words how I felt.
When I was in hospital, physical restraint would happen quite regularly to me. I spent most of the 90s, which was my 20s, in and out of hospital with 5 really serious admissions. It was just an unimaginably fearful experience, and I felt quite scared, isolated, not had many people to turn to.
Someone mentioned mine to me. I went down one evening and I was fortunate that one of the staff there was able to spend some time with me. He just reassured me that what I was living through was perfectly normal. I began to develop relationships and friendships with people who I could actually speak openly with about my mental illness. People who, as I put it, they got it.
My first experience of Mind was through a recovery centre in Hackney called Mind. Just went there and it was fantastic staff, discussion groups, art, empathy, compassion is at the forefront of their organisation.
They really do help people, and they care as well, and it's very, very obvious that they're there because they want to help people, not just because it's their job.
There's something really extraordinary about the Mind Network and the work we do with people with lived experience of mental health problems. Sometimes people come to us because they need our help and support, but as they receive that help and support, they often then become part of our movement for change.
I got in touch with the media team and they asked me if I would like to be involved in a couple of the projects.
Over the last couple of years we've been campaigning on the issue of restraint, which is when somebody's being held down against their will. Gary was very involved in the campaign from the start, and he really helped to bring the campaign to life by sharing his very traumatic experiences so that people could understand what it feels like to be restrained.
Just sharing that lived experience, which is so important. A lot of the experiences, once you talk about them, I'm sure it does take away a lot of the fear and normalises it a bit.
Because Solent Mind have helped me, I want to give back and help others because of the fantastic work they did with me. They started coming up with different ideas that I could do, and one of them was to start going into colleges. My name's Avi and I'm from the mental health charity Solent Mind, and we raise awareness and understanding of mental health in a project that I run called Heads Up, which is for young people, and just to get an understanding of what mental health is and how important it is to talk about mental health.
I thought, you know what, I'm going to raise some money for Mind because I'd never forgotten the impact that Mind had had on my life. I'm now currently approaching the end of 12 months of fundraising for Mind.
It was the most amazing experience of my life, running the Virgin Money London Marathon for Mind. The crowds were absolutely fantastic. Mind constantly say that no one should live with a mental illness alone, and that's my mission, to help them to achieve that and help others in the same way that they helped me those years.
We are Mind, and we are working together to make a huge difference for now and the future.
All right then. Hope you guys enjoyed that little ad break. I'm not quite done. The problem with the back of my hair is that I've got I got a double crown, so it's really, really thick, and all of this stuff at the back is killer. So once I'm done with my little MC slot, I'll fuck off and try and tidy that up as best I can. So, how did everybody enjoy their break? We are so close now to £3,000. I think that makes it £23 to put us over the line, if my math is correct. It probably isn't. Congratulations to all the winners. There's a lot. I'm not going to announce all of you because honestly, one of them was 10 codes and I was kind of otherwise indisposed. But you know, I said I'd do it, and I did the thing. So, right, we are due to start the Hunger Castle next, which is a meat grinder styled 5th edition game. Thanks chat for all of your support. I did say that I would try to get it all off, but I mean, obviously there was a lot of it. What I really should have done is gone and wet my hair. I think wetting my hair would have made it a lot easier. You can still see my crown poking out the back here. I've got about 5 minutes to come and chat to you guys, so I'm just talking it out, man. So, God, I'm still not quite over how good Alien was. That's that was the tensest I've ever felt in an RPG. Honestly, I've been in some life and death moments in 5e, but holy smokes, that was scary. Like, and even though we didn't really see an alien getting like over that, hey, we got 3,000, amazing. Just waiting for my little duder to flip around, and we'll see what it says. My guy, Kirk, Kilter Cajun, RPG, my dude. Mod, is it possible to get a shout out for Kilter Cajun RPG? He runs an amazing Tomb of Annihilation game on Friday, where a lot of us are involved. Actually, a lot of the guys that a lot of the guys who did Roll for Good are involved. Prue is involved. Myself is I'm involved as well. Rob is involved. My sister Neve, she did all of the those little stings you see at the start. I'm gonna do my camera now because you don't need to see as much of my head anymore. She did all the little stings at the start with all the stuff flying across. So yeah, we're all basically involved in that project, and it's been a really, really good time. And Kurt runs a great show, and I really, really appreciate that Kurt getting us over to 320 now. Andrew Zeal coming in with a £20 donation. Thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much for that, Andrew. I really appreciate that. Haven't tortured them enough. Okay, Burrito, calm your roll. He's already TPK'd us once in that game. Gosh, we've got so much. I can't believe all of this has transpired. Like, we were like 750. So 750. What we're like 4 times what we set out to raise, which is wild. Also, Lucy Dog right here. This is Lucy. This here. This is the bear. She is a good girl. So that's good. I've got so much up my sleeve. 3 chapters left to go. Cool. Nice. That's all good. What did we do? We did good is what we did, Tal. I'm very, very proud of us, and I'm very, very proud of the community as well. You guys are amazing. Mr. Taylor Sean, who was on the high level one shot yesterday. Nice. Congratulations, Sean. Awesome. Super gassed for you to get the Coggy merch and the cult. I think it was a copy of Cult as well. I might have missed it. God, never lucky as well. I've entered every single thing. Oh, my dog is going ballistic for no reason. Lucy, what are you doing that for, huh? I'm just going to intermittently mute while the dog barks. Luke donating again because of his double win. That's very generous of you, Luke. Thank you, dude. The old Cognitive Merchant. You should go check out Cognitive Merchant, guys. They're UK based, and basically everything they do just kind of keeps the lights on, and they're doing a great job. They make some lovely stuff, and they've been really kind to Roll for Good, and they've donated way more stuff than was even necessary, which was super nice of them. So make sure you go check out Cognitive Merchant because they are good beans, good eggs. All right, gang. So we're gonna go. Waiting because Tempest is giving me hand signs, so I'm gonna wait to see what they type. Keep talking. Sorry, I thought that was wrap that up, not keep going. Bark. Amazing effort, everybody involved. Yeah, everyone's amazing. Yeah, Cognitive Merchant. Thank you very much, my lady Meg, for putting that into Twitter. Oh man, Lucy cheering me on. Murder Party coming. Yeah. Next up, we've got a Hungry Castle. So Hungry Castle is Diane, who is the coordinator, and she'll do the MC section after this. So I did Alien, and then I came and talked to you guys, and then Diane will come and DM, and then we'll be emceeing the final section, giving away all the rest of the crap that we've got, because you guys have been so kind, unbelievably kind, the community, in terms of passing out donations, as well as actually like raising money as well. You guys are amazing. I think people seem to like me shaving my head. Apparently that was a good move, because my Twitter notifications have suddenly exploded, like Josh is shaving his head. So apparently the captions like to think that Twitter notifications is tournamentifications. I didn't realize that was a word. But here we are. Castle go nom for sure. I think we've got something like 15 players lined up for this, and then 5 at a time, as it were. Once one dies, one jumps in. One dies, one jumps in. And I think Diane TPKs them like 97 times. It just goes all the way back to the beginning again, just rotating through 15 people. So that's going to be a lot of time. You can also donate money to Roll for Good to help or hinder them. So if you take a specific liking to someone, you can donate and maybe give them advantage. Or if you want to fuck with people, you can donate and drop traps on them and wild magic surge and all that jazz. I know at least one person is meant to be played. This will be interesting. Donate to keep the precious beans alive. Yeah, well, we'll see who gets lucky in the end. We'll see who gets lucky in the end with that one. It's gonna be a good time, and I can't believe, guys, that we've got, in 10 minutes time, we've got 4 hours left. 4 hours. That's all we've got. We've got a donation goal currently of 4,000. So here's my challenge to you. You guys have been amazing. £250 an hour gets us to 4,000. We've got the Hungry Castle coming up. Diane's doing amazing work with it, and it's going to be an incredible game. So, my challenge to you, fair people, donate all the advantages to the DM, you would, Kirk. My challenge is to you, £250 an hour. All right? Let's finish this out strong. I've been amazed by your generosity so far. I know I speak for the whole Roll for Good team when I say you guys have been incredible. That is actually it for my MC section. So here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a couple of minutes as Tempest hands off to the lovely Poopy Pants, who's producing the last game. And then, so the channel will be off for a few minutes, and then we'll roll a couple of videos maybe. And then, Hungry Castle, final game will Roll for Good. Are you guys ready? I know I am. I'll see you guys soon.